Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let me get Discord up and running. Hello, Discord. And you crazy people. So, hello, people on YouTube. There's apparently 10 of you. Hello, the deal for real. Patrick Dehan. Part 7 is the best part. I know. What was going through my mind when I made you a mod? Blown up. Hello. It's all crazy stuff. Right. Before I kick off, wow, there's only 10 people on. I was going to do the giveaway first, but not many people are on at the moment, so not many people are going to see the giveaway. But sod it, I'll do the giveaway anyway. I'm going to do it on the live stream. So, this giveaway, what I'm going to do, let's go over and show you what it was all about. So, I asked you in one of my videos a week ago to go to this chap's website, FizzyPlays. He had 400, I think, 60 subscribers at the time or something. Now he has 509. That's an improvement, but we've got to get him to 1,000 somewhere along the line. So I asked you to go onto Fizzy's website, YouTube channel, and I asked you to scroll down until you found this video, Tuning with Patreons. And I asked you to click on it and comment, basically. So you click on the video. And as you can see, it's got 310 views, which is nice, and 113 comments. And you're asked to put your in-game name and your server in there. So we've got a lot of comments. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that. And you're seeing all this live, so I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go over to this channel here, which is called the Random Comment Picker, and I'm going to paste it, and then I'm going to find that video, and it's going to come up. Yeah, I understand it. Got it. So I'm going to filter out the duplicate comments, as you can see there. So we're in the video, and I'm now going to press this button saying get the YouTube comments, which it'll do. Oh, it's saying it's not letting me. Don't know why. Let's try that again. Oof.
Imagine something working first.
There we go. Get the comments. No comments found. Are you sure there are comments? Yes, there are. Oh my giddy aunt, it's not working. Why is this not working? It worked earlier when I did it in practice. I don't know why it's not working now. Let's forget the duplicates. How can there be no comments found? Let me find another random picker, because that one's obviously being a plonker. Oh my god, why is this not finding the comments? Now it's found them. So, we found the comments, finally. Now if I press this start key, it will start the raffle and then it will pick a random winner. Before I do that, however, a couple of things. Wargaming gave me 60 days of premium account, and they said you can do with it what you like. So I thought, do I give one big batch of 60 days or do I break it up? So I decided to break it up into 2 parts. So that's 30 days of premium account. So that's what I'm going to do. So there are going to be 2 winners. So let's click the button. And if you haven't got your ING in your server, guys, and you win, I can't do anything. I have to do another.
RNG?
We are going to go. It's going to pick the comments, throwing them all around, as you can see. And our first winner is going to be Starfinder, whose ING is Rebel Pilot on the NA server. So well done, Starfinder, who is Rebel Pilot. Really good stuff. So I don't know you, so well done, Rebel
That's
Pilot.
That's one of the 7 giveaways, right?
What 7 giveaways? Hey?
5, I mean.
What 5?
3 tanks and 2 pre.
No. The tanks is next week. Next week is the tanks.
Alright.
This is just for the 30 days premium.
Oh, Gideon, I got myself confused again.
Yeah,
Sorry.
next week is the tanks giveaway. So hey guys, don't think it's this week. That's next week, because I want as many people to get involved in that to try and win a tank. So that's number 1. So let's go for the second winner. Oof, picking another one. Oh, here we go. Click on it. They're all flying everywhere. I saw General Kenobi. Oh. And this is Faretti Husal. ING Faroli TR on the EU server. So, well done you. You both get, so Rebel Pilot and Faroli TR, you both get 30 days of premium. I will send Wargaming your details and they will sort that out. So well done. Unlucky those of you who didn't win, but we'll sort that out. I've got to spell this right. LTR, server EU. Excellent. So, thank you everybody for taking part, and I'm sure Fizzy is also very and grateful for you taking part, because obviously it was on his channel. Fariti Hassal, you're on the chat. Well done. Well done indeed.
Congratulations.
So there we go. That was that. Now, next week, that's the biggie. That's the tanks. So next week is the tanks, guys. Remember that. So if you haven't jumped in yet, this time next week, because I gave 2 weeks for that giveaway, is the RBM giveaway side. So that's next week. So if you haven't done anything yet, get onto my channel, onto the RBM video, and partake. And it's up to you what tank you want to win, by the way, because they're Tech Tree Premiums. Okay, so the Tech Tree Premiums that are up for grabs are the M6A2E1, the M23E3, the Panther M10, the SU12244, and the AT15A. And whoever wins, what I've asked you to do is basically go in there and put a comment in saying which tank you would like and why you would like that tank, effectively. So that's that giveaway, but that's not until next week. Not until next week. So there you go. So congratulations, those two guys. That's Rebel Pilot and Feral TTR, who I see is on the chat. Well done indeed.
Rebel Pilot? Rebel Pilot. Awesome.
Do you know Rebel Pilot? Do you know Rebel Pilot?
No, but that's a great name.
It is a great name, I must admit. So that's the giveaway done for the 30 days of premium account. So thank you all guys for getting over to Fizzy's channel to partaking in that. As I said, I'm happy about that, and I'm sure Fizzy is also grateful. He's a great guy, does some good stuff, up and coming YouTuber, and we need to send him a bit of love because he's like that. And I see Yoda is also there, Yoda Jedi Master. I just streamed with him in Asia actually. We tuned up. And again, another good chap, another great YouTuber. So again, if you're not aware of him, get over it and have a look. Which now brings us nicely to the coffee chat side of things. Yay! Oof. So we had a week without drama. What's going on, eh?
Well, without that's so sad, but it has been doable.
A week without drama. I don't know what to do. It's been. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's no drama for a week. It's been awesomely fantastic. But, wowzers, is there a massive update on its way? And it's huge.
So, is it confirmed that the Swedish line is going to be on the new update then?
No,
it's not going to be on the new update.
It will go into testing, but it will not be effectively available for every player.
Yeah.
So only the British lights we look forward to.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I've seen people who don't really have any interest in the British lights because they seem pretty bland to them.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the thing I don't like about them is the visual looks, and I think they could have went with better tanks.
Well, right now, I'll be honest, the one that I have my eye on is probably the
Tetrach.
only.
Hang on a minute. So, Fried Crackers, you got a T-54, which is a pretty high tier tank, and you were offered the Tetrach. Yeah, lovely. At least you got offered the tank. Now, the British Lights, I think, will be a great addition to the game. I mean, more light tanks in the upper tiers are needed, let's be fair. I mean, you've got the Batchat, and you've got the ATGMs. So, having those lights in there, that mobility in doing what those lights do should be really good, I think. They should be really good. I don't know yet. I mean, I wasn't testing them, so I don't know. But I'm looking forward to them.
Someone had to re-explain to me what the heck a medium's role was supposed to be in the game, because the light tanks have kind of taken over spotting ever since they've been added.
Yeah, but
with them adding more.
But the thing is, I mean, the light tanks, forget the ATGMs, because whilst they're light tanks, they've got troll armor, and we all know what's wrong with them. And they're not really light tanks, let's be honest. They've got light tank mobility, light tank camo, but they've got a huge gun, and they've got really bouncy trolley armor. Whereas if you look at
the things I like about the light tanks, because I know I keep bashing the T92E1 for the fact that its armor is a little bit too much.
That's a great game, by the way, Fizzy. You're OP, man.
Then again, I'm also the kind of person that laughs his ass off every time someone bounces the ass off a Batchat.
Well, this is the next thing. I mean, the Batchat is a true light. I mean, that thing is vulnerable. I mean, you can smack it from here to Kingdom Come with a good HE roll. You can't.
That's a fact.
You can't with a T92. Let's be honest, and you can't with a Sheridan. You can with a Batchat. And I think the British lights are going to be similar to the Batchat in that respect. Light armor, fast mobility, quick gun. You know, and they're going to do a proper light spotting roll. And they're not going to. I think wargaming, to be fair, with the buffs we've seen recently with the heavies having their hit points increased, I think wargaming are trying their best to try and even out the game with the tank rolls. I mean, when the game first started, they didn't have so many tanks and so many rolls. You have to remember. I mean, the low tiers had a couple of lights, but they were low tiers.
The thing that I'm afraid of is the fact that all the tanks like the Batchat or with the new autoloaders, that the old tanks will actually get back into the shadow.
Yeah, they did. I mean, because obviously the more and more they add tanks to the game, the more it changes the game. So
yeah, but for example, the Batchat already wasn't that much of a common tank. Seeing one these days is pretty.
I'll tell you what, though, when the Batchat first came out, it was a great, unbelievable tank. But it's not anymore, and that's a shame.
No, they nerfed the shit out of it.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, as I said, the more tanks they introduce, obviously it's going to push the meta in different directions. So they have to try and rebalance somewhere along the line. So I'll be interested to see what happens. I really will. The thing I'm not overly keen on seeing, to be perfectly honest with you, if I am going to be perfectly frank, is I'm not waiting with eager anticipation the Super Conqueror or the 2 American premiums that are coming in, to be frank, because I think they're just, firstly, I think premiums don't really belong in tier 10, especially when tier 10 is the professional tournaments tier, because not all the pros will have those tanks. And I don't know what the Super Conk's like. I don't know if it's going to be broken or not. But it gives an advantage to a team that is wealthier than another team, for example. Especially if it's in crates. It doesn't matter if you get your crates with the charms.
Oh yes, but that's pretty much the same story as with tanks like the T22 medium.
And this is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying, and I don't agree with it. They should have left tier 10 realistically, because it's not fair on the Pro Tour teams, unless of course they give the pros that tank as well, gratis maybe. I don't know, but there are things.
Tournament rewards.
Say again.
Tournament reward tanks. Tier 10 tournament rewards.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that would be different. It would be a level playing field. But I'm just not. I mean, we've got a lot of premiums in the game already. Okay. And after this game, I just want to go to the store and show you something. And I know it's a bit skew wit, and I know it's all a bit up in the air about certain things. But this game's about to finish. And then we'll go to the store, and there is something I wanted to sort of bring up, to be honest with you. After a disastrous night last night, after we left Kareem, I went back on, and I just had to spam the Tiger P and everything to get the win rate back up. Yes, last night was shocking. We were playing tier 10 live stream. And the MM was just shocking, absolutely shocking. But there's a reason why it was shocking, which we'll get to in a moment. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to the Super Conk. Well, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm sort of not looking forward to it, if you know what I mean. I mean, I think the Action X is in the right place. You're
seeing a tank, but you're not seeing forward to the effect that it will give.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's a catch-22. I understand why Wargaming are doing it. Don't get me wrong, I do. They're a business, it makes them money, and it's a way to introduce a tank into the game that doesn't sit in a tech tree line. Personally, it may have been better to stick it in the tech tree line. I don't know, and have you grind for it. But they don't win, they don't get money that way. So I understand their position. Their position is pretty straightforward in that respect. But yeah, I just have trouble with premiums at tier 10, to be honest.
Or
because
collectors.
And collectors, yeah. I just have problems with them at tier 10, just because of the esports side. That's all, nothing else. I don't. If people want to buy tanks and then go into a tier that they shouldn't be in, that's up to them. But it does hurt the game in that respect. But the other knock-on effect is, as I said, there's an esports side to this game, and if you're giving an advantage to one team over another, that's an unfair advantage, to be honest with you. Just my opinion. Anyway, we'll see.
Well, I agree with that.
I mean, I've spoken to some of the pros, and a lot of them have the same view. We had them on recently, and a lot of them say, yeah, it's not particularly fair. But in fairness, tanks like the Badger, you very rarely see them at all. You very rarely see the AMX-30B. You do see the T-22. That is admittedly, yes, you do.
As well.
Not really. You don't really see the Mark 6 that often, to be fair.
That depends where you look.
Oh no, what about the Pro Tours, the esports, the proper Pro Tours? They don't really drag those
people
out.
prefer the E5 or the IS4.
Yeah, but they definitely roll out in the T22 on occasion, to be honest with you. So the T22 is one of those. I mean, this is a great game, by the way. Look at this, 7,000 damage. Oof, nicely done indeed. Wowzers. Jan 1, really well played, man. So what I was trying to get at was, if I go into the garage and I go into this, you will see containers collection for gold, not for money. And if I click on one of them, this is where it starts getting annoying. So you've got the AMX-30B, you've got the FV217 Badger, you've got the T95 E6, you've got the T22 and the WZ 1111111111115A. Now, okay, they've got pants drop rates, I get that. But you are therefore able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tier 10 tanks. Regardless of whether you're at tier 10, regardless if you've just joined the game, you are able to get your hands effectively on 5 tier 10 tanks if you've got the money.
You also have to think about the chances of that happening. I
No,
mean,
the chances are, yeah,
like,
no.
Don't get me wrong.
But if you've got enough money, you can throw enough money at it, you'll get them.
Like, I got that because I just happened to have the gold from saving up for it.
Yeah.
I got absolutely 0 tanks out of that entire bundle, and I also got enough gold to buy the bundle again.
I must admit, I did the same thing, not on this account, on my Asia account, and I didn't get a single tank. Not a single tank.
And the other sad part is I got absolutely 0 of the emblem thingies for any of the tanks out of that entire bundle either.
Yeah, I didn't get anything either. Not on my Asian account, I must admit. But that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is that, look, I understand why Wargaming do it again, because,
oh yeah, it's a
business.
Money grab, and that's
it's a business, and that's what they do. But
and I respect that.
Effectively, you still have the chance to effectively win 5 tier 10s. But even if you don't win the 5 tier 10s, for a mere 20,000, you can get a tier 10. This is the Badger, with all the equipment and everything unlocked. Now, don't get me wrong, the Badger's a great tank. We went out last night on a live stream on the EU server, and the amount of AMX-30Bs, Badgers, T95s, and T22s that were out there were outrageous. And it's because people have won them in the containers. There you go. And not being funny, a lot of these players weren't ready to hit that tier just yet. and it was terrible. And that's the thing.
Did you see a number of... Oh, sorry. You were saying?
No, carry on. I'm finished.
You were saying, did you see the number of 111.5A players go up?
Yeah. Yeah, they have.
Yikes.
And this is the thing. Guys, on my Asian account, I've got like 200 odd games. But I was able to get a container for the 115A when I was at 100 games, or less than 100 games. And I got it first crate.
Oof.
So, that's why I don't necessarily... I don't mind as many premiums as you like in tier 8. I really don't care about tier 8. Tier 8 is the premium tier. And if you want to roll out in your premium tank in tier 8, and you've only got a few hundred battles or even less, fill your boots, because most of the people are going to be in premium tanks at tier 8 anyway. You know, and the way to do that is just avoid tier 8 and keep tier 8 as the premium tier. Yes.
And then tier 7 is the imaginary tank tier.
Yeah, you know, and I have no problem with that. But when you start opening it up like this to tier 10, it does have an impact long term, as we found out last night.
So speaking of tier 10, Pantoufly put a video out, or a couple of videos out, talking about how the new Kranwagen line is going to completely power creep the T57 and their Type 57 and the AMX-50B.
It won't, because the only thing where it will take the edge.
Don't shout over each other. Let each other make the point and then talk.
Being
God,
an avid
hang on a
player
minute.
of the Kranwagen MP.
Hang on a minute.
Being an avid player.
Squire, you're a teacher. You know that.
Did you never realize that?
I know you're a teacher, but do you let people finish first? I know you've got a good point to make. Carry on, Alan.
Being an avid player of the Kranwagen on PC, I could understand where it's coming from, but I don't understand why people are so frustrated about it.
I've never played it. Esquire, what were you going to say? What was your point? Where's he gone?
Like,
Esquire!
Like,
Esquire!
Still here.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about me.
What point were you going to make?
That the Kranwagen, although it might look overpowered in the first things, that it won't be overpowered in the meta of Blitz. Because first of all, the Kranwagen NPC is very dependent on the situation where you're in. In Hull Down, it's an absolute god. Place it on a flat plane and you're done. You're easily circled as well, for example, by a Batchat, T92, Leopard, SPB, whatever you want to call it. That being said, we don't have as many Hull Down positions unless you go on maps like Middleburg or Deathfield, those kind of maps. Then again, the only place where the Kranwagen and the Emil actually take the edge over, for example, the T57 Heavy or the AMX-50B is on the frontal armor. And that's the only thing you have to look out for. Don't face the thing frontally if you want to counter it. If you want to counter it, get to the side, get to the back. Don't be a muppet and stand in front of his gun. Basically.
I've not played World of Tanks Blitz PC, so I don't know what the tank's like. I can't comment on Pantoufly's video. I don't know if he tested it, if he knows all the parameters of the tank. I just don't know. I don't have it on my press account in Asia, so again, I don't know. So I don't know if it's going to be a tank that's going to power creep or not. I think we're only going to find out once it's finished its testing. That's all I can say, and I don't know.
And you wouldn't happen to know when that is, right?
No, they take time. The testing takes time. I mean, the Superconk was tested way back in end of March, beginning of April, I believe, even before that, and we haven't seen that yet. So when they test them, it does take time.
But that's not the issue why people are frustrated. The reason people are frustrated, me included, is because this is the third tank with a 3-shell 400 alpha damage clip, and it's just frustrating, right?
That's a completely different argument, and that's a good argument. But this is another clipper.
If you look at what they've done from PC to Blitz, right? They took the AMX-50B, which is 4 shells, and they reduced it to 3. They took the T-57 Heavy, which is 4 shells, and they reduced it to 3.
But that's because of balance.
3 shells. Wait.
Yeah.
The Kranwagen has 3 shells on PC, and it has 3 shells here. And they could have just easily followed that rule and given it 2 shells and 420 alpha. And sure, maybe it wouldn't have been the same, but it would be way more interesting to have a different tank in the game. This is just the third tank that's the exact same. So yeah, that's why people are frustrated.
Well, kind of like the Foch, it only has 2 shells, and it's auto loaded.
Yeah, but I mean a heavy tank with 2 shells,
yeah,
420 alpha, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, but think about it this way. They also did the same thing with the Lorraine 40T. The Lorraine 40T in PC has a 4-shell 100mm gun. In here, it's a 4-shot 90mm. Because if you have a 4-shot 100mm at tier 8, that's what, 1,000 clipper?
Yeah.
It's a bat shot. It's basically just a bat shot at tier 8.
Yeah. So I could understand having less shells at tier 8 or in tier 10 because of the fact that if you fully clip a 3-round 420 alpha clip, you're looking at like, what is it, 1280? 1260?
Yeah.
I mean, then again, you put that up against a Type 57, whatever, T-57 Heavy, with 4 shells. That's also 1,200. That's also 1,600 actually. That's
This
more
is
than
gonna do
enough
what
to
the
HE out
Progetto.
a bat chat.
Batman, how you doing, mate?
This is gonna do what the Progetto did to the bat chat, basically. I mean, the bat chat became irrelevant in tournaments because of
That's the point.
Progetto, and this is gonna do the
Yes.
same thing because it's gonna be a T-57 with better armor. So what's the point of using a 50B even? And I think that this brings
TB
us like
still has
another good point.
mobility.
Well, yeah, sure,
Yeah, it
but
does.
I mean, if you look
And
at
gun
what
handling.
Wargaming have been doing, they took the new British Lights, which are basically just a medium tank with some extra speed and view range. And just basically every release that Wargaming have done for new tanks, it's just always the same thing, with the exception of the Sheridan. They're just like playing it safe. And it's really, really annoying that they keep on screwing it up by either playing it safe or doing something so outlandish that it ruins the game.
Wait,
Yeah, but what
was
else
the
do you
Lorraine
expect? If they
42?
try something outlandish and it goes wrong, they get bashed for it. Why would you try a new thing when you get
Okay,
the
no,
anyway
man,
if it
listen.
goes even a smidgen wrong?
No, okay, listen, I can tell you exactly how they should balance the next few tanks that they should implement into the game, right? So the Kranwagen, 2,800 DPM, the same frontal armor as on PC, and 2 shells, 420 alpha with 4.5 seconds or 4 seconds between both shells. That would be completely balanced and fun to play and still competitive. If you look at the
Yeah, 'cause you
TVP
could shotgun.
5051, right? Yeah, if you look at the TVP, which is a Czech medium that they have on PC, it's basically a clipper, right? You give it 4 shells, 250 alpha per shell, and 1.5 seconds between shells. And it has no armor and average speed, basically. That would be
So you
balanced,
basically get a
and it would be
Lorraine at
fun
tier
to play.
10.
Yeah, it's balanced and it's fun to play. All these tanks, they're different and they're balanced. It's just that Wargaming keeps on screwing it up because they want people to really be attached to those tanks, and I find that annoying. You don't have to have the entire player base playing the newest tank.
Which you will have, though. That's the
Especially-
thing.
Especially when the newest tank is basically a copy paste of XYZ tank that's already in
Yeah.
the tier.
The easiest way to avoid power creep, and sometimes power creep isn't because other tanks are better, it's just because you're getting the same thing, but it's more comfortable for people to play with, right?
Yeah.
The best way to avoid power creep is to just include different vehicles, because if you look at the bat chat, yeah, but hold on. If you look at the bat chat, right? The bat chat was power crept by the Progetto, but it was never really power crept because it's still a good vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that Wargaming should keep on doing. Add vehicles that are different, and then people will play the bat chat if they still actually want to play it. They don't play it because it's the best option out there. But then you compare what they did to... Sorry, what did you say?
Oh no, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, but some other tanks, like what they're about to do now, people are going to stop playing the T-57 because it's literally worse than the Kran. And I think that that's wrong.
I mean, the only thing that, to my knowledge, that the T-57 Heavy has over the Kranwagen is just gun handling. Because, like, from what I understand, the Kranwagen's gun handling is absolute shite.
Oh, it is.
And it's not even that big of a deal because the Kranwagen plays at close range, so it doesn't even need that gun handling.
Well, yes, understandably. But, like,
Well,
for a
trust me.
mid-range support, you're going to get more out of a a T-57 Heavy than you will out of a Kranwagen.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, you might as well just use the 50B instead of the T-57 if you're going to do mid-range support, because then you can push in because of your speed. So the T-57 is used.
Also, you slightly, I guess.
Because I will say, in Panterfleet's video, he does have the PC stats, and he's comparing it to what has been already announced, at least for the tier 10. Because there has been a stat line announced for the tier 10 tank as of right now.
Let's have a look. Let's have a check.
Because I know that the tier 6 through 8 have only been announced as the PC versions, but they said that everything is subject to changing, yada yada.
Yeah.
I just read on the YouTube chat, somebody said you may have balanced tanks but not balanced players. And I wanted to say that it doesn't... Yeah, it does. The way that they should do it is make tanks which can be good in the hands of a good player, and that's basically any balanced tank. Like, for example, as we said before, the Batchat, which was not power creep.
This is also why I enjoy tanks such as the T-34-3. on paper, it's a very situational tank. Like, you have to work with the aim time, you have to work with the DPM. But then, after watching Fugit's video, I realized that my T-34-3 has a 12-second reload. So I'm like, hold up, wait a second, where are you getting 16 from if you're running equipment? But beyond that, you have to work with it. If you can work with a tank, any tank theoretically can be good. If you know what you're
people be
doing.
fucking overpowered at things like an SP1C, so I agree on you on that one.
I mean, they haven't. I'm just looking now on Blitzhanger. They haven't added any of these tanks yet, apart from the 50 TP prototype at tier 9. They haven't added the rest yet.
Hold up, let me just pull up his video real quick, because he might have got it from like Tank Inspector or something. Hold up, let me just look at this real quick. Because he does show like an actually believable stat line, so I want to figure out where he gets.
Yeah, it's just from tanks.gg.
So it's from where, sorry?
Okay, yeah.
And he just adjust them. It's a website called tanks.gg for what PC. It tells you the what PC stats, and then you just adjust them.
Yeah, it basically
Because there were certain details of the tanks that were told, such as like the tier 8 having 310 alpha instead of 360. And like he shows what information has been released, or at least what he's heard. But that's why I'm trying to figure out exactly what stats he's actually taking from the Blitz portal, quote unquote.
But is this one? Yeah, but this.
GOP.
But you're right. I mean, Tanks GG. That's World of Tanks Blitz PC. That's World of Tanks PC, though, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm saying.
And yeah, I mean the Kramwagen is in there, but that's the PC version. So yeah, I mean I haven't seen the video, so I can't comment. And I mean, if he's done the analysis, dropping, discounting this and that for the game of Blitz, then fair enough. I don't know anything about World of Tanks PC, to be perfectly honest and frank with you. I'm not Quickie Baby.
Okay, that's fair.
So I have to go on to things like Armor Inspector and Blitzhanger and stuff like that. And at the moment, Blitzhanger have got nothing on there with regard to the tank. So I can only go on what Wargaming have released in their video, which is effectively the tank is still under. It's a proposed tank, and therefore it'd be under test. So I don't know. Is the honest answer. I just don't know. I wish I could argue more valiantly the pros and the cons, but I can't. I mean, if they do a copy and paste from the PC, which, to be fair to Wargaming, they've never really done a copy paste from PC to Blitz. They've tinkered.
It would be really bad if they did, because
Yeah.
health points would be out of
I mean,
whack.
they've tinkered with the tanks before they bring them across.
No.
Yeah, Nova, your connection's really bad, to be fair.
So,
No, you're right.
with that being said, when they bring in another nation, what nation do you think they should bring in?
Well, I think they should. I think they should rip apart. I think they should rip apart the pan-European line, and they should break them up into Poland, Czech, Sweden, blah blah blah. And I think that would be a good idea. Break the pan-European line up.
Weren't the Polish heavies a thing?
Calm down, people. We're talking to each other again.
Sorry. Czechoslovakia would be only one line as far as I know, because even if you go research on the internet, you're not going to find anything except to
but that's
build
not a big
line.
deal.
And it'd be like the
It's about
Japanese
having the
version
tank line.
before they added TE.
Yeah, that's fine. No, one line is one line. It doesn't matter. I mean, because
Well,
I mean, you're running out of nations. Not many. To be honest with you, not many countries actually make tanks. To be fair, they're variations on a theme. I mean, you could turn around and say, let's have an Iraqi line, and all you're going to have is Russian variants. That's it. That's all China
Let's
is.
not forget
Chinese
Japan.
line from the beginning. So
But that's exactly that's the Chinese line. The Chinese line up to a certain point is just basically Russian tanks modified slightly here and there.
I mean, let's not forget Japan for the longest time had one line.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. So they are going to struggle to find other nations that make tanks. There aren't many, to be honest with you. There really aren't. So I think even if the Czech line is one line, it doesn't matter. It's variation on tanks. It's a different tech tree.
The Czech TD line. No, that's the Swedish TDs. Never mind. Swedish TDs would be like the only line that I could see them having troubles implementing.
They said that they're not
They're
going to do
not
it.
gonna do
So,
Yeah, just like they won't do the Japanese heavies. Yeah,
Japanese heavies, indeed.
yeah, they won't do it.
Yeah, Japanese heavies would just be cancer.
But these tanks, I mean, we're getting off track a little bit because these tanks aren't coming in the next update, as far as I'm aware.
No, they're not.
Oh yeah, no, they're not.
I mean, what we're getting in the next update is, firstly, we're going to get different graphics. So we're going to get some different graphics coming in. And I understand we're getting a 5v5 format,
skirmish.
which would be interesting, I think.
So when they do eventually put in the Kranwagen line, are they gonna finally take out the? I'm pretty sure there's a tier 6 premium medium tank that's supposed to be Swedish at this point.
Yeah, the Steve.
Yes. The Volkswagen 7284.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Steve.
the elephant gun.
Hi,
It's a
Javid.
Brazilian tank. It's a Brazilian tank, the X1A. It's a
Yeah, I mean,
modified
they probably will. They
Super
probably will
Mario.
take the Steve out of tier 6 and stick it into the Swedish line. That's no problem with that.
Well, no, I mean, like, take it out of hybrid nation and put it where it belongs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is a tank already in Hybrid Nation that really shouldn't be in Hybrid Nation. That's the T55A. I mean, that shouldn't be in there at all.
Didn't
Be
they
Right, you're
put,
looking at the issue that it's technically 2 nations at once.
Didn't they put the AC6 or whatever, the Sentinel? Didn't they put that in like the Australian flag and whatever?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
were
they did. They put an Australian
84
flag.
and 81 were original hypercat tanks, but now they're actually both just Australian flags.
Yeah. And the other one is the Ram, which is
Canada.
Canadian. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I like how they're doing that, and I also wish that they would add like captured tanks. And when I say captured tanks, like there are variants of like the KV-1, where there's a mounted German 7.5 centimeter on it, and like it's a different tank.
Mm.
I think like stuff like that would be interesting to see, like how like the Germans messed with like a T-34.
there's a Russian Churchill, but if they add that kind of tank, it would be premium.
Yeah. Yeah, if they
Yeah,
do that,
I
they'll
would-
be
I would
like
be-
the M10, like the Panther M10. I mean, the Panther M10 is just basically
Well,
a
but-
Panther.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's Panther. But it's like for the KV-1B, which I think is what it's called. It's literally just a KV-1 with the I think the Panzer V 4 turret, not turret, just the gun slapped into the matlet.
Hmm.
Like
Well, I want
stuff
the,
like
I
that.
want the
Where
KV2 with 3 barrels.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm waiting for it.
But I mean, there are
Wait.
tanks out there that there are variations on a theme, like the Achilles, which is basically
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the Achilles.
if
We
you
need the
have a
Achilles.
which is British. So
if you
and they did it with the
have a certain
Firefly. The
turret,
Firefly
they
is
should change the
Achilles?
name.
Can I say something?
yeah.
The
Yeah,
Achilles
sure.
should replace the Firefly because it's a TD. Firefly's not. But that's just my opinion.
Okay, if you have a turret on, like for some reason the Challenger, right?
Mhm.
The stock turret of the Challenger is the Achilles.
Basically, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
No, the stock
So,
turret
like,
of the Challenger is the Challenger. The top turret is a fake version of the Avenger turret.
Well, no, but like
The
I'm pretty
Avenger
sure the
turret-
name of it is different.
Mhm.
Well, the Avenger turret in game is not the real.
Good night,
Yeah,
Yoda.
The
Thanks for
real-
popping in, mate. Have a
didn't
good
even
one.
Have a top.
Good play, Hoops.
Like if, like I feel like if you have the stock turret on, it should be called the tank that it actually is. Because like the Challenger with the stock turret, it's the Avenger. It's not the Challenger.
No, with the top turret, it's the Avenger, not the Challenger. Except for they messed up the Avenger turret because the Avenger turret for the real Avenger was smaller than the Challenger's turret, and it had no top. It was an open top turret, kind of like the.
I mean, okay, yeah, I'm looking at pictures of it now, and I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
like
just
same thing
going
with
over to
the
YouTube.
KV-1S.
Just going, yeah, Ups, you're right. It is skirmish mode with reduced. When they say reduced maps, when I was speaking to Ting in Rolling Swarm the other day, they're just a map chopped in half.
That's basically.
That's basically
And
what
you
it
know,
is.
new map in
That's
hell.
basically the whole point.
I mean, then again, the KV-1S has the same problem, where the stock turret is the KV-1S, but the top turret is the KV-85.
Yeah, but if they started changing all the names, then it would overload it. And you know, I'll be honest with you, I would say about less than 50% of the player base is interested in the history of the tanks. In fairness.
Well, I mean, I would just think that if the name is different, you would know that it has a different play style, and thus, like, the camos already do that. They just add on to the name.
Yeah, they do.
But
that's a marketing ploy, though. That's a marketing ploy because people like shiny things, basically.
that's fair.
So, for example, if you get the funky camo for the grill, of which you're watching a replay of Fizzy going out in a grill, then it's called the Raider. So people think it's the Raid camo from Raid the clan, and that makes people get the camo. It's just one of those strange things.
Now, there are a couple of those camos that I just think are ugly to look at. Like all of the soccer camos, I hate them. Like I hate them with a passion.
Yeah, I'm not overly. I mean, you say soccer. No, it's football. Oof, God.
Oh, either way.
You're American. You're American, right? Football is played with feet,
Yeah.
not with hands. You don't throw the ball. That's throwing ball. That's rugby.
Fair.
Well, what do they do?
Yeah, but they literally they have it. Okay, but like the thing is, the only of those camos that I think actually looks decent is the one that's on the KV-1S because it's just white and red and kind of.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. When they came out, don't forget they came out because Russia was hosting the World Cup, #1, and it was a big hit in Russia, and it was always going to be a big hit in Russia, and by default, it was also going to be a biggish hit in the EU server because obviously there's a lot of EU teams. It's not soccer tie, it's football. What you guys play is a mixture between rugby and rugby. You can't. I know you call it American football, but you don't really use your feet. Be fair. And they were always going to be on a winner. They were always going to be on a winner with those football camos, because you know the Germans like football and they've got a good team. Keep beating us on penalties, but we kicked your ass in '66, so let's not go there. And they were going to get that camo, and the Russians are going to like it because it's a patriotic thing to do when the World Cup was coming out. So I understand. I mean, I don't have them myself. They're not. You know, I don't particularly like the camos. I don't think they're that funky. But I do like the legendary camos. I love the legendary camos. I think they're fantastic. I mean, where I can put a legendary camo on a tank, I have stuck it on a tank because they're brilliant.
And also, it's funny to me that the FCM-50T is the only tank in World of Tanks Blitz that has 2 legendary camo.
Correction, it has 3.
That's not true. The Grilla has a bunch.
That's yeah.
And
because-
the mouse
How many
is
legendary does the
The
Grilla
mouse
have?
has 2. The mouse has 2.
FCM has
Mouse
3.
get 2?
Talking about the grill, you've got what? You've got the Troublemaker, you've got the Raider.
Wait, question. What's the third one for the FCM?
We have
Twister.
we have two football
Two
ones,
soccer
and
ones,
we have
or
the
2
Twister
football
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Twister Cup skin?
Yes. 2019 one, you get the
I-
avatar and the skin with the FCM 50T.
Huh.
If you
I never saw that one.
Aye, spicy.
I'll send some screenshots. Hold on.
but the FCM is such a shit tank.
No.
It is crap. It needs
No.
more armor.
No.
My
Tell you.
heart when I hear that.
The CDC is better, way better.
No. Yeah, the CDC. Yeah. But the CDC is a different type of tank. They may both be mediums, but they're different. The
FCM technically is a heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Now the
It doesn't
FCM.
have the armor.
No, it does if you put it in the right place. Oh,
People were
it's
saying-
actually not a bad tank. It's like
Isn't
it's
it-
like I
isn't
did
it
a video the
Tiger
other day.
turret or something like that.
Yeah, basically. It's like I did a video the other day on the T-34-3. Loads of people rage about that tank. I mean, it's a
I love
medium.
that tank.
It's a medium with a massive derp gun.
The Chimera
What's there not to
the Chimera
like?
is better in every way.
No,
Yeah, but the
I
Chimera-
agree. But
the
you
thing
can
is-
hurt a Chimera in that tank. I mean, the penetration is quite good, and and it's got better speed.
I mean, T-34-3 heat pen. Oh my lord!
Absolutely, and everybody rages on that tank. Everybody rages on that tank.
I could literally heat pen the lower plate of basically any. Not necessarily the lower plate. I could heat the turret of most tanks I'll ever see.
And don't forget 1 second aim time with a dirt gun.
Yeah,
that was the one
Chinese
thing in the video that I found very funny is that you made the aim time sound like it was an eternity.
I know.
You were like, oh, there's 6 seconds of aim time. I'm like, wait a second.
No, I meant reload time.
Wait, on the T-34-3?
Righto, how you doing, mate? Yeah, the T-34-3, 1 second aim time.
Machine.
I thought it had quick aim time.
1 second.
Yeah, it has it's really fast.
Who
It's
asked
same
for
with
the camos on the
Now-
FCM-50T? I have all 3 of them posted in screenshots right now, so if you want to check the 3 camos out, go ahead.
There you go. But yeah, 1 second on the T-34-3. It's got a long reload, don't get me wrong. But, as I said in the video, if you gave it gun depression and a less and a shorter reload, it would be broken. I think it's a very balanced tank.
Because with
Or
my,
give it
with my
3 degrees
loadout
of
that I-
depression and give it the damage per minute. That would be
I mean,
balanced, I guess.
with the loadout that I have right now, I'm rocking a 12.7 second reload. You start creeping that down. You're looking at like faster than IS-3 territory, and that's scary.
The housing is broken for a reason because it's got a 9.1 second reload. Even though you don't hit the second shot, if you do, it's really dangerous. That's the same thing.
Similar, yeah. But
okay.
But the thing is, people don't rage on the HAL thing. People like the HAL thing. People rage on the 34-3. They think it's a rubbish tank.
Just noobs.
It is not a rubbish tank.
The fact that my Stuart Mill can. Okay, you were saying?
Yes, Sam. No, it's
Well, the thing is with the Helsing, the fact that me and my Stuart Mill can HE pen the front of the tank, not even aiming at the front plate. I can literally smash a 640 Alpha HE shell directly into the front of a Helsing. Doesn't really make it scary for me.
But if it gets on the sides of you, there's no way you're gonna escape because even the STM
it's a Stuart Mill. It's in a mill. I'm not gonna escape if anything gets on my sides.
I mean, the HAL thing is a pain in the backside. It's a nuisance tank, just like the Drak is a nuisance tank. But they are nice tanks, and nobody rages on them. Nobody turns around and says they're rubbish. Don't get them. They're awful.
Because I feel that there's an understanding of okay, these tanks are what they are. They're not going anywhere, so we may as well not scream about them.
Well, no, I think
people eventually get to that with the T-22 as well. It's just because you learn how to deal with them.
Yes.
The Object 252.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still OP. The sides are broken.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I say. People don't discount the fact that the T-22 medium is not overpowered.
I like the Object 140 better.
The thing is, when you look at tanks like the HAL thing in the Drak, this is just my opinion, and then you look at things like the T-34-3, and like I said in my video, one of the things I like about the T-34-3 is that it's not a forgiving tank, and it teaches you how to play a particular role, and it teaches you how to understand the maps and where you need to be on a map to get the most out of that tank.
The same is for the Dracula.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree. And the reason I don't agree is because I see, seriously, a lot of... Take the Unicums out. The majority of the player base in a Drak, and I call it a Drak YOLO for a reason. They rush and they die. And, you know, it's only the Unicums. And they like it because they can rush around, get a few shots off, try and circle to death a tank, and then they get wasted. A T-34-3, you can't do that. You have got to play it properly.
If you bounce one, you're dead.
I mean, similar to the T-34-3, the Lorraine 40T is the same way. It is a very unforgiving tank.
Oh,
but
yeah,
if you put it in the right spot and you do the right things with it, you can clip people for 3/4 of their health.
It
Well,
used to be
okay.
OP
I say
before.
3/4.
Yeah,
Now it's half.
But the other thing you got to remember, going back to what Kareem said earlier, take the bat chat. People don't like the bat chat because they can't play the bat chat. That's the reason they don't like it. It's not because it's a rubbish tank. It's not because it's
because there's just better options.
Well, yes and no. I mean, the bat chat is a great light tank, and in the right hands, that thing is a real menace. But people don't like it because why? Because the Sheridan is easier to play.
Yeah, that and the bat shot is really cut and dry how you play it.
Yeah, and you see this with a lot of players. I mean, players go for tanks that a lot of players. And I'm not saying you've got to take away the Unicums and people like that because they will always get the most out of the tank. But the majority of the player base will go for tanks that are more noob friendly. Let's say.
Speaking in terms of power creep, tanks such as like the IS-5 and the IS-6. Compared to like the objects and like the Chinese and like stuff like that. Like, what would your opinion be on that? Because I've heard a bunch of people say, "Oh, the IS-5 and the IS-6 they're like super power creeped and blah blah blah."
The IS-5 isn't. The IS-6 is.
The IS-5 is OP.
Yeah, the IS-5. The IS-5 is effectively a free tank. It's a free premium tank.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And the thing about it is, the armor is unbelievably trolly. It struggles with its penetration. Let's be frank, it does struggle with pen, but it's a free tank and it's a good credit earner. It's not been power creeped.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Now the IS-6, however, when that first came out, it only had one gun. Now it has two, but it only had one. And yeah,
the one gun that they added is complete garbage.
And the IS-6 does struggle to pen, to be honest with you, which is why they added the other gun. And yeah, I personally think the IS-6 has been power creeped to an extent. However, it's still a nice tank. And like all the tanks in the game, it's how you play the damn thing. And that's where a lot of people struggle.
The IS-5 and 6 do have an interesting party trick, though. That their shell velocity is freaking mental.
Yeah, it is. But a lot of players rage about the tanks. A lot of people rage about the tanks, not because the tanks are crap, apart from the VK168, which is crap, but because they either don't understand the role. I'll give you an example. And unfortunately, he's not on. But one of the guys from GNA, me and him, it was Fusilier. We were in the Wargaming Discord a while ago. And somebody was raging about the 215B having the worst armor profile ever.
No way.
There you go.
The heavy or the
And that
TD?
No, the heavy. And Fusilier X and myself was like, "Are you serious? Are you kidding?" I mean, this thing.
Oh my god!
Something and whatever it is,
it's the best tournament tank. It's
this
the
thing.
Best tournament tank.
This thing hold down in the right position is absolutely a bouncy castle. And this guy was like, "Well, everybody pens me." I was like, "Well, you're clearly in the you're not playing the tank."
The wrong spot there, bud.
And this is the problem. The player base, unfortunately, because we've changed the parameters of the player base effectively to get rid of the training wheels to an extent, don't really know how to play the tank. They don't know how to play the tank, and then they rage on the tank.
But the Fugit,
if you want to have a fun playstyle, that's different.
It's not meant to side scrape well, though. It's meant to be a haul down tank.
Gripping in a British heavy, then it's the joke is on you.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is, that tank has not got pants armor. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Is pretty nice. The upper plate is pretty nice, to be honest. If you use your 7 degrees of compression.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you want a fun playstyle, play the German Bulldog.
Absolutely. And this is the thing. What amazes me, realistically, is we have all these tools available to us. We have Blitzhanger, Armor Inspector, YouTube videos, etc., telling you how to, the parameters of the tank. And to this day, players don't realistically understand either the role of the tank or the mechanics of the tank. And that's the thing.
Are like, well, people say, "Oh, look, medium. That means I have to frontline and I have to hold down and I have to shoot the people in the front."
But
And then
that
you
is the
get
problem
tanks
with
like
wargaming. They don't teach as well.
I mean, then again, you get the tanks like the FCM, where you sit in the front, you're going to die.
Well, this is the other thing. I mean,
every different medium.
Wargaming teaches you to shoot and drive.
I have a little bit of a suggestion. Like, do you think if they offered tutorials in crates, that we'd have a better player base?
No.
No.
Ain't nobody's gonna pay for that shit.
The problem goes beyond they're just being bad players. It's also players who think that they're better than they actually are.
There is that,
which
Kareem.
I think is a really big problem in the game.
Oh yeah,
honestly,
but that's just a different conversation.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, Kareem. Yeah,
even I do have that problem.
Is that like okay? If you look
well,
at
again, that's why I suggested they could make a crate for that.
They won't do it. Never in a million years.
If you look at Blitzhanger,
don't give them the idea.
There's not Blitzhanger. I think it's one of the Blitz things for like the tank inspector type of thing. There's a little box that says, well, I think it might be Blitz Stars, but for every tank, there's a box towards the bottom that says like different categories, like is it a hold down, is it a frontliner, is it a second liner, is it a
That's
heavy
Blitzhanger.
Like, if they just put something like that in game, that just said, okay, this tank is better suited for X, Y, and Z type of dealio.
No, I don't disagree with that, because it is in Blitzhanger. Just a quick one. Yes, the Defender Mark 1 has kind of surpassed the Scent 1, but the Scent 1 is still a nice tank. It's tricky.
No, it's not.
It's a tricky tank to play.
It's tricky, and it's a tank that I
but
really
the
don't want to
Defender
play.
Mark 1 has actually better turret. It has all of the better turret. Like
Oh, absolutely. No. The Defender Mark 1 has surpassed that tank.
I do like 2,000 damage. If I play the Defender Mark 1, I do 2.5. It makes a big
Well,
difference.
no, the Defender Mark 1 is a great tank, and it certainly is a lot better than the Saint 1. I don't disagree, but the Saint 1 is still
like
a nice
version
tank.
of the Lorraine. It's
Yes.
a sluggish, better version of the Lorraine with armor.
The Scent 1 is one of the worst tier 8 medium tanks.
Because it doesn't have the mobility. It's very fat.
It has such low alpha, so you hit somebody for 190, they hit you back.
Yeah, but you check. Go into tank compare. Stick in the Scent 1, then stick in all the other tanks in its line and tier, and you then check the reload times. And I agree it's got low alpha, but this is the thing about the British tanks. The British tanks have always got low alpha, but they've got insane reload time. And I mean insane.
They have that reload time because they have that.
Except the 183. Except the 183, okay?
Now, I mean, with that being said, the one thing that I played the Defender Mark 1 for a while, and the one thing I just couldn't get around is that the gun just sounds like shit. Like,
yeah, it does.
It's the same gun sound. It's okay. So like, if you look at like the 17-pounder, like you listen to the 17-pounder, and it sounds like a 90 mil. Like it sounds like a beefy gun because it is a beefy gun.
But don't forget, I mean, one of the things that we forget, and this is why I was talking last week to the likes of Kareem, Jory, and Maddox, etc. Each tank line has a unique difference to the other tank line. So we all know the Russian tank line, the gunners are, if they're not absolutely smacked on vodka, then the shower's going to go anywhere. They are unreliable gunners, but every now and then you get Russian bias. The other thing you get with the Russian tanks, I'm talking about the heavy, the higher tiers now, is that you get trolley armor if you know how to position them. That's number one. Number two, the German tanks generally have very reliable guns, and their super heavies obviously have got massive armor, but really shit dispersion. Let's be honest. The E100, the VK, and the Mouse, their dispersion is not very good. Whereas the Leo has got insanely accurate guns compared to the 140. The British
love me some Tiger 2 in the morning.
Yeah. Whereas the British tanks have got really low alpha, but a whoppingly great reload. And to be fair, their guns are pretty accurate. to be fair. And each line has got a different parameter. And the idea is it's meant to sort of... If all the guns were the same and all the lines were the same, we'd be bored. And it's playing... You know, I've always said this. For me, the British tanks are probably the hardest tanks to master in the game. And when I say master, I don't mean get an ace. I mean to play them...
Japs, though?
Say again?
What about the Japs, though?
I tell you what, I love the Japanese tier 10 tanks. I think they're brilliant.
Specifically the medium line.
I mean, the ST for me, tier 10, is a dream tank. I mean, that thing is just brilliant. It's just brilliant. I would take that over any medium at tier 10. I'm telling you. Because unlike the Leo, it's got an insanely accurate gun and turret armor. And you know, I think it's a great tank. I love that tank. I love that tank. I'm not overly keen on the Ho-Ri Type 2, the Tier 10 TD, because I'm not a great player in it, but I do love the Tier 9 version. I think it's brilliant. But the Japanese tanks I like. I struggle with the French tanks. And I struggle with American tanks apart from the likes of the E4.
I was about to say, if you said Sheridan, I would be very unhappy with you.
I don't like playing the Sheridan. I'll be honest. I don't like it. So, I've played it a few times.
I played the T49, and I'm like, you know what? I can get behind this. I then played the Tier 9, and I'm like, what the hell is this amalgamation?
I'm not overly keen on the Sheridan.
Why does the T49 have premium HE and not regular HE? Can't they give it 2 HEs? I know
they won't do that.
But 2 HEs.
They can't do that because Americans don't have hash for a reason.
Oh, wrong one. No, I'm going to play the Panther 4D. Sod it, I don't care. You can watch me play the Panther 4D, I don't care.
Normal HE.
I don't
yeah,
mean
it does.
Just regular HE.
But like, there are certain changes to the game from PC that I never understood. Such as, like, okay, other than the tier differences, like the T54 lightweight is a tier 9 on PC. But I don't really count that because there's reasons that they put it down in tier 8. But
well, yes, but like
the
T49
Leopard,
and the IU-251 are also tier 9s there, so...
Yeah, the Leopard, the tier 10 Leopard, has 2 APCR shells and an HE shell on PC. Most of the T54 lines, to the exception of, like, the objects, have 2 APCR shells. Like, the only good tanks are your big 122mm gun. I don't
back in the day, you didn't have the
why they changed that.
But one of the reasons that they gave APCR to a lot of tanks in what PC is because they're supposed to be flankers, right? So the maps are bigger, and with the Leo 1, you're going to be getting a lot of side shots. But in what Blitz, if you have all the mediums
for distance.
No, it's like you can't pen the tracks of enemy vehicles like E100 and stuff with the heat.
Yeah.
So they gave them APCR because you're going to be shooting at the sides of a lot of heavies. That's the whole that's how you're supposed to play the tank.
I can understand that, but then why have 2 APCR shells? Why not have an AP and an APCR?
The Leo is a pretty modern tank. I don't know about shell types and stuff, but maybe that has some.
Because I know that
it's not a big deal.
The premium shell it has is like an APDS kind of thing.
It is. It is in real life, yeah.
Isn't it like an APDS?
Yep.
APFSDS or just APDS?
Something like that. But the thing is, I mean, the Leo is a tricky tank as well to play, and as Kareem, I mean, I'll be honest with you. To be honest with you, Blitz, the maps in Blitz for the Leo are too small. It is really meant to be, you know, a spot, run away, snipe, and farm tank.
I want to shoot my depleted uranium, gosh darn it.
So, about light tanks, the Russians, that's a problem because unlike in PC, we don't have the... Because I don't think moving the T54 lightweight up a tier is going to work.
No, the 54 lightweight is perfectly happy where it belongs.
Yeah,
you can just add a new tank.
So
it's fine.
the only option I can figure is split the T100 over 2 tiers, and have
no.
They
can add the LT4. You know
Oh,
the
the
LT-432. They can
Yeah, they
just
can
add
do
it as a
that.
tier 9, or they can find a different tank because there's so many Russian prototypes that it's going to be fine.
What-
Oh, there
what
are,
I
there
thought
are
is
hundreds of
they should
prototypes,
have-
yeah.
Wait,
If they should have the
432?
TDP4 lightweight.
No, that's not a light tank. They made that one up. There's not a light tank version of that as far as I know. The 432
Okay,
is a
question.
heavy.
Does anybody off the top of their head remember what the tier 9 or tier 10 light tank from the Germans were from PC?
Yes, RU-251 and Panzer Kampfwagen and whatever.
Well, yeah.
It's like a
Specifically
bar.
the tier 10 one.
Panzerwagen.
Is the
Isn't it like-
Panzerwagen.
The
That would
Panzer.
be a tank that I could understand them never implementing into Blitz because it can cruise around at a solid like 80 kilometers an hour.
Well, there's a lot of things they won't bring.
Panzerwagen?
There's a lot of things I really hope they never bring or migrate from PC to Blitz. Artillery being the main thing.
Artillery.
The Waffle Tractor E100
Amen,
being
brother.
another one.
Oh yeah, dude, they're not bringing that here because as soon as they bring that here, it's gonna freaking be the only tank that anyone
The
ever plays.
Waffentrager E100, they shouldn't have even added to PC either, because that's a completely made-up tank. It doesn't exist
Yeah, okay.
anyway.
So I want to know who in developing thought this was a good idea. Let's have a tank with a 4-shell autoloader that has enough
No,
damage to
6.
fully wipe. Oh, is it 6?
400
Absolutely.
alpha or 460 alpha. Or
Absolutely.
500, I don't know.
Yeah.
It had a
actually
3,000
clears
damage clip.
It's 560.
1.5 of a mouse.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's 560 alpha. So basically, I have enough health, I have enough damage in my clip to fully remove 2 tanks from the game.
That's straight. TruePlot 7
two
Progetto doesn't exist
Yeah,
either.
size
In
tanks.
Blitz, the maps are small and you can
Nor
get
does the
because if you give it like a 1-minute
215B183.
reload.
Nor does the
Well,
Death
I mean,
Star.
okay,
the
let's
Death
think
Star.
about
The
this,
Death Star never existed in real life. Not even close.
Wasn't there like a wood? Wasn't there like a wood mock-up made of it or something like that?
Yeah, but it wasn't a 215B. It wasn't based on that chassis. Oh, sorry, the 215B is a made-up tank. The 215B never existed. Ever.
Yeah, the heavy
Never even considered it.
that-
The
was in the paper,
215B183 was a wooden mock-up where they considered bringing this like an artillery type gun. But yeah, I mean,
'Cause-
basically,
Isn't it
the
a naval
183
gun?
like a sub, not like a ship mount or something like that?
say again, sorry.
Wasn't the
The
183? Wasn't that like a ship mount or something like that? Like it was like a naval artillery piece.
That was
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But it was just a concept that they toyed with after the war and then decided
But
it
the
was a
same
silly
with the
concept.
SU-100Y. It's actually has a naval gun. It actually has a naval gun.
Yeah,
Just
but
put
the
in front of it.
SU-100Y exists. I've
It
seen
existed,
it.
yeah,
I've
I know,
stood
I've
on
seen
it.
What hull is it based off of? Isn't it like the
SU-100Y?
yeah? Because isn't it like a heavy tank thing?
It's the
No,
chassis
no.
of the T-80 with a gun of a naval destroyer.
They actually added a big
Wait,
chunk
what?
of the
Was it the
gunnery
T-80
in
or was
the
it
box.
the T-100? I can't remember. I do know, however,
It looks
what
like the
gun
chassis of a KV-1.
It is a
Looks the
KV-1.
most like
It's a
one of
KV-1.
but I don't know.
It's a KV-1 in real life. It's an extended KV-1
Oh,
with a fixed case,
But-
mate.
but in Blitz, it doesn't
Yeah.
look like it's even a KV-1 or it's like it's its own chassis.
Okay, I remember that there was a heavy tank, a Russian heavy tank that had like 2 or 3 turrets on it.
That's the
And, like,
T-28. That's the T-28.
No, not the T-28, but there was one that was later that was heavily armored.
T-35.
It was like a. No, it's a
Not
meme
the
tank.
T-35.
It's basically a KV-2 and two KV-1 turrets.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the one you mean. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these tanks, for example, the SU-100Y is a real tank. It really went out. They really did test it, and I've stood on it in Kubinka.
SU-100Y came so far that it participated in the Battle of Moscow.
No, it didn't. It was Leningrad.
Ah, right.
Because they made it in the factory in Leningrad and it rolled out for the defense of Leningrad as a siege weapon, basically.
So what about like the Germans? You have the toaster, then you have the Nashorn, and then you have like the Dicker Max. Like from what I understand, those are all variants of the same type of vehicle.
Not really. The Dicker Max was a one-off. There were only 2 of them ever built. And the variant of the Dicker Max is actually the Stur Emil.
But the
Not to
Sturm
mention
Mill is
that
slower.
the toaster,
Why is it
or
that?
in the full name, the Panzerfahrgestell for C, is
And-
actually based on the Panzer IV, but it's an anti-aircraft fucking tank.
Now, if you're interested in those two tanks, there is a video that I did on the history of the Sturmil and the Dicker Max because they both saw action at Stalingrad. Funnily enough.
So, like,
Did
what,
they actually
what was
have
the
any
reason
armor
that the Dicker
in
Max
real
No,
life?
no, they were awful.
Anyway, the Panzerwagen from TC, I found that was based on a Rheinmetall patent tank. I found a drawing of, I think it was just a paper drawing. It was like one of those paper drawing things. You know? Yeah, let's make
a
this a
blueprint?
But anyway, we're moving away from Blitz and into real life stuff, and we should be talking about
Okay, yeah,
Blitz.
I have a
Um,
subject.
Go on then,
What
mate.
I was going to say was,
I wanted to see. Basically, I feel like Blitz just adding more tanks as extra content is kind of getting repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
I looked
they
over
can
to
do
what
the
PC.
the
Wait,
Swedish
Hang on,
ones.
hang on.
Yes,
One at a
wait.
time. One at a
I'm saying
time.
that I don't. I'm saying that I don't like. I feel like more tanks are cool, but I thought of something else, right? So
Okay.
how about like the Object 260 campaign on PC? That really keeps people in the game. So there's like
Okay,
50 or something
campaigns.
missions. Yeah, and then at
I
the end
could
of
get
it, you
behind
get a
that.
reward tank.
Is that similar
Because that
to?
way-
I could
Hang on a minute.
I could definitely get behind that.
Is that similar to what I saw a video from Quickie Baby recently about the road to Berlin or something? Is that a similar thing?
Well, no,
Um,
basically in PC, there is every time you hop in a game, you get a mission depending on which line you take. There's like 5 or 6 mission lines, and you have 2 objectives. Like they'll either be like maybe if you're playing an artillery piece, there's like stun 15 vehicles or be like 10% damage on your team or whatever. And if you complete one of those in your battle, you get progression towards a reward vehicle. Now, the way that PC runs it is that it has like
Ubuntu.
4 or 5 different reward vehicles you can get, but each of them has you have to use these specific lines, like you have to use like from this nation or from whatever. And then at the end of it, you can get everything from like premium time, gold, credit, it's equipment, but that doesn't matter in Blitz.
Yeah,
And-
but didn't they just do that with the battle pass?
Well,
No, but this is different. This is different because the battle pass
This-
is temporary, and this
yeah,
it's
battle
it's
pass
been
is
in,
temporary.
This is in the game forever, right? So from
Yeah,
here to like
you
10
can-
years down the line, you'd still be able to get this tank and complete these missions.
Yeah, I mean when the
So
game
it's gonna
first
take me
when
10 years to get a tank?
No, not
it-
by any chance. It's going to be up until you complete it, and whether you want to complete it is your choice or not. It's
Was it the
there.
same with the T-22s and all?
No, that wasn't a event tank.
No.
That
No,
wasn't an
so
event
like
tank.
okay,
People
so
rigged.
basically the way that the game that they do it is that there's like 50 missions that you can either do with honors or without honors. If you do with honors, you get like a bunch of credits and bonus. So like if you want to try and get these reward tanks, it rewards you for each step that you complete. And it's not necessarily a general, oh, you gain XP towards Battle Pass. It's you complete this, you get reward.
Let me put it a different way.
Sounds
It's
good.
essentially a battle pass with much more missions, which where the missions aren't daily. They're actually very hard missions, like block 5,000 damage or 10,000 damage, right? And at the
Amongst, like,
end of
2
all those
games.
missions, yeah, and at the end of all those missions, you get a reward, a really nice one, and along the way, you get little rewards for each mission. So if you complete mission, let's say 30, you get 150,000 credits or 2 days of premium time or something like that, right?
Okay.
And then it's your choice to complete them, right? So you can choose to complete them now, or you can say, well, I don't want to bother, I want to grind the tank. And then maybe in a year or 2, you get back to the missions because you've ran out of content, or you just want to try.
Well, is it that similar to the daily missions then?
No,
Well,
because the
because
daily missions are
don't.
easy.
They're just easy. Do a battle, be top whatever for your team. These
Da-
are
daily
specific
missions
things
reward you
like
for playing.
like I have a list up of the missions to earn the Excalibur. Mission 15: block 8,000 damage between 2 games, or be top 3 in your team's damage 5 games in a row.
The
like-
Excalibur is a funny looking tank.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but as you
Like,
can see,
there-
like the daily
there are
missions
s-
in Blitz. Wait, the daily missions in Blitz, they just reward you for playing, right? It's
Yes.
not about your skill or anything. You just get rewarded for playing. in these
Whereas in
missions,
PC,
you get rewarded. Yeah, you get
being
rewarded
skillful.
for exactly,
skill.
and it promotes you to like improve your skill, etc., so that you
Yeah,
can complete more missions.
Now, I mean, there are some missions that are just blatant stupidity to try. Like, for example, like, there's a mission for the Excalibur, like, mission 49 or 50, you have to play an artillery piece and be top damage of your team 5 games back-to-back.
That's tough.
Like, yeah, it's really tough, and that's the point. It puts hard values in front of you and says, okay, you want to do this, this is what you have to do to get better. And that's what I think this game needs.
With that,
that's the nice
note, then, how many
So
of
the
you
people
guys,
who get the tanks are pretty good players.
Yeah, only the top 1% will get the tank. And then the rest of the players, they can maybe reach like level 40 or whatever if they're very lucky.
Now, it also depends on which tank you're talking about. Like, if you want like the tier 6 premium one, then pretty much everybody's going to be able to get it. But if you want the tier 9, the tier 10, then you're only going to have like the top people.
Thanks, Mediocre Joker. Thanks a lot, mate. Thanks for jumping in. Bye for now. Have a good sleep.
It's essentially a system where
deserve it.
Yeah, only the top 1% get it, and then everyone after that can complete it, and over time, as they get better, they're eventually going to get it. But it's not about money, right?
The Morgan just abused that by selling the Defender, Fearless again. The Fearless was awarded to the top 1%.
And but I think the Fearless was a tester, maybe, to think about how they can...
It was given to some top players.
No, I know, but I think the Fearless is a tester for things to come.
Yeah, it is.
To be honest with you, and I think they wanted to see how much response they got for it.
But haven't they put the most OP tanks already, like in their best?
Oh, the IS-6 Fearless is not OP, nowhere near. It's just an IS-6.
No. I mean the strongest in their class. For example, they can't send an Object 2.5 to you because they only sold it in the shop.
But the thing is, this is a game where there's a disconnect, because if you speak to some of the players in ratings, if some of the top players who win the ratings, they don't need OP tanks. What they want is something to set them apart, to say we're a top player. And if you are one of the lucky 1% who managed to get in the top 10 or top 5 of ratings this season, to get your IS-6 Fearless, that's one hell of a badge of honour on the battlefield, guys. Rolling out an IS-6 Fearless. Because everybody knows you're a good player. And that's what these top players want. Why do you think they wear the pro avatars when they roll out? Why do you think why do you think they put the pro camos on? Because they want to be able to because they want people to notice that they are really, really good players. Some of the best players in the game, some of them. That's why they do it. Did I play the free play?
There's a lot of 49%ers who have in Diamond League.
No.
I'm telling you, the ones who won the IS-6 Fearless and not the 40%ers in Diamond League. They're not.
You will find those players at the top of like Twister or like the Pro tournament. Those are those guys.
Yeah.
If you look at the leaderboards, for example, the NA one was just Pramo and Void and I don't know those kind of guys.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually loved that fact that they put the IS-6 Fearless in, because the IS-6 Fearless has always been a difficult tank. It was only awarded initially to I think it was a tournament team, wasn't it? I can't remember now. But
it was awarded to some like the top guys. There was some event.
It was a long time ago. It's an ultra rare tank. It's no different to the IS-6, but it's a badge of honor, and that's what some people like in ratings. Why do you think they go out there and do it? And I think it's a good idea, and I hope Wargaming consider doing it again. But I don't think they should make the tank OP. What they did with the IS-6 Fearless is perfect. It's an IS-6, but it's different.
They can put something like a Moods in, like the Panzer 58 Moods, something like that. Not like something like a WZ-121 GFT.
But these
Speaking
missions
of
that are
Panzer 58, I proposed to Wargaming a Swedish medium tank line with the Panzer 58 in it, and they were like, "That's pretty."
Mate, let's not move off track. Let's not move off track. Let's stay on track with what we've currently got. And you know,
these
Also
missions.
crapped out. Can someone tell me what the current track that we're doing is?
well, the current track is this. We were saying, Kareem brought up. Well, we should. You know, wargaming should consider something to, you know, bolster the game a bit more without adding new lines and new tanks all the time.
So many positives.
Along the lines of these missions that you get in World of Tanks PC. Team Trouble, thank you very much. That's incredibly kind of you, my friend.
And these missions, they're not like ratings, right? Because I see why you compare them to ratings, but if you come from one PC, that would be slightly annoying. Because in ratings, you can reach the top of ratings by having no life, just literally no life at all.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you will get to
the more
diamond.
you play on average, the higher you get, just because of the fact that you can be on the losing side, but if you're on the top person on the losing side, you still get a bonus to your rating.
Well,
So
and then, so we were talking about the missions that doing in PC, and then we said about, you know, there's
Clippers.
You know, it's hard to get the top tier tanks, and then somebody said, oh, it's like, you know, you get, and all I was trying to say was that there was a good response to ratings in the IS-6 Fearless is not an OP tank. It's an IS-6. It's an IS-6.
It's an IS-6.
Yet there was a good response. So Wargaming are able to make normal premium tech tree tanks like an IS-6, give it a different parameter, a different skin or whatever you want to do it, keep it as the same tank, and offer it for these type of missions, and people are still going to want it because it's unique. That's the way I see it. And that's what we were talking about, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you could stick those at the top of these missions, and people would still go after them.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
For that very reason.
That's what I'm saying.
And this is better than
It gives
ratings
them
because it's not
recognition
just.
in the society or in the player base.
And this is why I think it's a great idea, because it gives you something to aim for, and again, it rewards those who are really good, but it also rewards those who put the effort in to an extent.
And they're getting
To an
better.
extent.
I mean, you also have the idea of this is also teaching you how to play the certain tank lines. Because, like, say, for example, if you want the heavy tank at the end of the mission, it's going to have you playing a lot more heavy tanks. And all the missions are going to be geared towards how you should play said heavy tanks.
You know, I'm a great believer in things like that. I mean, I know a lot of people rage about ratings. Yeah, okay, I get it. But the thing about ratings is, yeah, if you play it just to get an avatar and be in a certain league, then fine, that's up to you. But I play it to try and get better, because it is a different style of game. It is a different gameplay, to an extent.
And the teams listen to you. If you are a good player, they listen to you. That's the big change.
I hate to be devil's advocate here, but I call BS on all that. There's no difference in ratings in regular battle. That's that simple.
Man, reach Diamond League and then come talk to us again.
I think there's a big difference. I mean,
I say the same thing.
No, here he goes. Kareem, that's a bunch of crap. That's a bunch of crap, and I'm gonna prove you why. I'm gonna prove it to you why what you said is just a bunch of crap. Because you can sit there in your little diamond league and hoity-toity or whatever with your little attitude. That's why you're muting yourself. But the thing of it,
well, no, he's a guy.
The thing of it is when you do ratings, I have more than one screenshots of the current rating season where they mix diamond players with gold players with silver players with platinum players. Okay, so I refer to my earlier statement that
I've seen it.
Oh, that is true.
No different than random battles, and it's that simple.
Yes.
I have a screenshot from.
No, but this is the thing.
Yesterday.
But why don't they make
I think
what?
that would be especially prevalent on the servers like NA where you have less players in general.
Yes.
Playing the game.
But this is the thing about
But NA's
ratings.
OP.
The reason that you still play with diamond players once in a while is because there aren't enough players.
Correct.
However, every time that I go all the way to the high leagues, I start out by playing again with noobs that bring me down, and I succumb that. Then I start out playing, when I get to platinum, once in a while I play against full diamond lineups and I'm the only platinum guy and I still win, and eventually I make it to diamond, at which point I usually play against diamonds. It's not usually platinums or gold league players.
That's
If
all
there were more
irrelevant.
players-
That's all irrelevant.
How is it irrelevant? I'm telling you right now.
Because
The
when you
idea
click the button-
is-
when you click the button, it's no different than clicking a random battle into the players that you will encounter. Number one.
That's
Number
untrue.
Number two.
Now, okay.
What do you mean?
Whoa, guys, time out a minute. Couple of things. There are 4 servers, okay, and the amount of players on each server varies. And I can tell you this for a fact, on the EU server, once you get past a certain point in ratings, I think it's about 4,500 give or take, then you don't get the bronze, the silver players anymore. You will get a scattering of gold, but you'll also get a scattering of diamond and platinum. RU server, which has got a massive game base, if you're in the platinum league, you'll only play platinum players. That's it. Now, I did ratings in Asia yesterday, which is a very small player base, and you get all sorts. You do get all sorts, and I'm assuming, because I'm looking at Blitz stars at the moment, and I'll be honest with you, it seems that there's a tail off with the amount of players on North America recently. I was talking to Matthew about this. Matthew normally jumps in, and recently Asia has overtaken North America with players online, and that's very rare. So there's a tail off somewhere with North America, players not jumping in for whatever reason, and that is going to affect the ratings on the NA server massively. Massive amount.
And if you look at looking at that, that's the reason less people play ratings in NA. Because the more people jump off, the more scattered and less accurate the rating battles become, so the less people actually want to play them.
Yeah. Not only that, last season's ratings for you guys, and I have to say, I pointed this out to Droodles because I said, mate, you're wrong. A lot of people looked at videos and thought, oh, I can win an IS6 Fearless. And it was never going to happen because it was only ever going to go to the top 10. And I said on Droodles' video, mate, it's only for the top 10. Anybody else who gets to diamond, if they're not in the top 10, they will get a part, which is going to take them, they've got to be in the diamond league, 10 seasons in a row or something to get the entire tank. And that also made a lot of people on the North American server who really shouldn't be in ratings start playing, and that sort of swamps your server, guys. To be fair,
does. And that was what I was about to say.
On top of that, wargaming, because it's a big thing. Ratings, they really wargaming. To be fair to them, really want to get ratings to work. So they gave everybody season coins for playing ratings battles last season. That also has an impact of people who would generally not play ratings because of whatever reason, jumping in. And it skews the MM everywhere. Now, I know what you're saying because, trust me, I know people who are solid Diamond League players in the EU, have been ever since ratings came out, who struggled to get to Diamond League this season for various reasons. And these guys don't generally spend 2,000 to 4,000 battles getting to Diamond League. They spend 200 battles getting there. Yeah, it doesn't take them long. But this season they struggled for many reasons. One of the main reasons was it went on for 2 months, and that was massive. It doesn't normally go that long, and it has a massive impact on the MM because you get people fair weather jumping in, and because everything's up in the air with ratings, it's not perfect. The MM really struggles, and with North America at the moment having, when I was on Asia earlier today, streaming, there were 5,000 people on Asia playing, and there were only 1,500 in America. Admittedly, it's the middle of the bloody night, but when you've got a player base that's shrinking for whatever reason, then it's going to knock the ratings for 6. And I appreciate it's therefore going to feel like in North America that ratings is no different to random. I agree.
But that's not the That's not the only reason. There's also YouTubers like Martin Dogger, who's massive, even in the US, because he speaks English. And I watched a video of him saying that ratings are the exact same as random battles, and it actually upset me, right? Because he took a rating video from when he was... Wait. He made a rating video when he was still in Gold League, where he's playing bots, and he's a lot better than them. He's a super unicum, I think. And then I see him a few days later in a Diamond League battle struggling to do well, and it just actually upset me, right? Because we absolutely wrecked him when we played Diamond League, but then he wants to turn around and say, oh yeah, the people here aren't that good, look how I'm doing, blah 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 blah. And ratings gets a bad stigma. No, people don't want to play ratings, also because so many YouTubers and so many people who don't actually really try in ratings start talking bad about it. And people who don't even play it don't want to.
My skill level is a solid platinum player. That's it. I'll never, it's a struggle for me to get to Diamond League, to be simple as fact. And it frustrates. I'm a human being, and it frustrates me because I'm one of those human beings who thinks his skills is better than they actually are.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
But the thing is with that, you can't look at EU and say that the EU doesn't have the same problems as NA and vice versa.
No, it does. 100%.
You can't.
And which is what I'm saying.
That,
this is what I'm saying. In the EU, it's only when you get to like mid-level Platinum League that you will see a change. Until then, it's a trauma. It really is. It's not easy.
But the thing that upsets me about ratings is the fact that I could be playing in Bronze League and still be playing against 60 and 70% win rate players who have just decided to sit on their ass most of the season.
Well, that's the other thing, because don't forget, the other thing about ratings is, and, I had an argument with a guy the other day who I was doing ratings because obviously I wanted to get my ratings up to win tanks to give away. And this guy, it was tier 10, and this guy jumped in, and he did nothing the whole game. He was a 40% win rate player with 2,000 battles, and he said, I've got ping. And so we thought, okay, that's fair enough, not a problem. And then I went straight into the next battle. We lost that battle, by the way. I went straight into the next battle, and guess what? He's there again.
Sure.
And I said to him, why are you playing if you've got ping? He said, because I'm grinding a tank. Because it doesn't affect the win rate. It doesn't affect your stats. And that is just selfish. And that's one of the problems with ratings. That is one of the problems with ratings.
And that's kind of why... The reason that I stopped playing
but on a
ratings recently...
side note, that's also Wargaming's server problem, too. So let's not put 100% blame on the player.
I have a solution.
No. I'm sorry. I disagree with you there. The first game, I agree. It's not his fault. He had ping issues. The second game, he shouldn't have played. He should not have played. He should have gone into random, not ratings.
The reason that I stopped playing,
but he would have still had ping issues even in random battles if he was having.
That's my point. Yeah, WG does need to upgrade. I mean, even Joodles just as recently as yesterday said that he's having server lag issues on a top level PC setup.
Because a lot of people are playing because of lockdown. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Yes. But the reason that I stopped playing ratings recently, and like I said, I'm not gonna say that I made it up to Diamond. I made it maybe to 4,000, maybe. The reason I stopped playing is that I would be playing, I would win one and I would lose one, and I'd be okay with that. But on the games that I would lose, I would look at the win rate and I would find a platinum player with less than 40% win rate. And I would be like,
if he made it there. But if he made it there,
I'm not saying that's a thing. But I'm not saying that's a problem. But it's a
people
problem
improve.
when he's in platinum.
People improve.
I mean, I'm telling you. I've played a lot of ratings, and seriously, I've played a shed load of ratings, and recently I've been streaming them for the RBM. And don't get me wrong, guys, there are problems with ratings, and Wargaming have asked the streamers who did ratings battles to report back on where they think the problems are. And I'm not the only one who's reported back. Loads of people, Every Good Name Is Taken has, Mighty Noob, Droodles, everybody.
Yes.
Because there are issues. But the fact, hang on a minute. The thing I love about ratings, and I do love about ratings, is it is a different kind of game to random. It really, it's more intense, okay? And I'm one of those players that I want to improve. And one of the reasons why I've switched clans recently, by the way, it's not because I've falling out with my previous clan, not in the slightest. I mean, it's a beautiful clan. They're chilled, they're laid back, they're the best bunch of guys you'll ever meet. But I need more experience watching and understanding tier 10 tournaments for the commentary side of things. And, you know, Sam Yeetabix, the commander of Zenith, said, well, come and join us for a while and we'll give you that experience. And you know what? It's so out of my comfort zone. And, you know, I played. No, it is. In Kareem, I've played on teams with Kareem, and he'll tell you, it's so, because I'm not a tier 10 tournament player, guys. I've played them, mainly quick tours, and it's a completely different kettle of fish. But you know what?
Yeah,
it teaches you how to play the tank. And that's what ratings is meant to do as well. And it's meant to be purely based on skill level. And you're going to struggle to begin with. I get that. And it's a lot harder to wipe the floor on the battlefield in certain respects, because the team against you, you're going to get good players. So I get the point. I get the point that it's similar to random to an extent. I get that. I understand that.
Well, my issue isn't that it's similar to random. It's that when I back to the 40% platinum player, I would look at their clan and I would realize that on the same team or on the opposite team, there's like 4 or 5 guys that are from the same clan.
Okay,
I've run into this
you are
multiple
part
times
7.
where clans are on both sides, playing both sides,
Well, they're
and
doing
then
counting.
one side would
They're counting
one
now.
side
They're
would
counting
immediately
now.
decide to just throw the game.
And that's
Okay,
wrong.
that's-
Yeah, that's wrong. And that's out of order. And that's not what
And
ratings
I've
is meant to
had
be
that,
about.
like,
But
yeah, and I understand
Also-
that, and that's why I stopped playing ratings, because like there was a spout last week where I had 5 or 6 back-to-back games where I had clans on both sides throwing games.
Well,
And at that
I mean,
point, I said, well, if that's a small enough
well, that's
player
out of
base,
order,
we'll
and
make it
that's
everyday
just
occurrence.
ridiculous over there. And do you know what? I'll let you into a secret. The reason why wargaming got rid of platooning in ratings
Is that very reason?
It's that very reason. And it's also the reason
and
why
I applaud
it's
them for
also the reason why you cannot do countdowns in ratings for that very reason. And wargaming get very, very upset when people try and manipulate it like that. But I can assure
Yeah,
you
and
that
that's-
playing the amount of ratings I did on the EU, seriously, it's ultra competitive when you
And-
get higher up. And
that's why I've been wanting to play ratings outside of NA, because NA has such a small ratings player base that you're going to be meeting this on an everyday occurrence, not because they're trying to, but I mean, I doubt that they're not trying to, but just because there's so few people that the odds of everybody getting matched up is so high.
well,
Wait,
So
can I call you out on something? Before you bashed ratings for something that's a server issue, first of all, and second of all, there are solutions, right? Because you said, oh, the ping issues, etc.
I
On
don't
what
care about
PC,
ping.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, but on what PC, there's a minimum number of battles that you need to play in ratings, and I'm pretty sure that there's a maximum as well per week. And also, you called out ratings for something that has to do with your server, which then leads
Yeah.
to more people complaining about ratings and not wanting to play. And then we end up with the same issues on every server.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's what I'm saying.
your
I would
issue,
rather,
you
I
should
understand-
clarify. I don't want to blame you or anything.
understand.
I just think that you should clarify that your issue is with ratings because of the NA server population, etc.
Yeah, and
not with the ratings
and
itself.
part of me, that's the problem,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that that's not the entire problem, but then again, I also believe that there are these idiots out there that think, oh, since there's nobody here, we can play the system and get away with it because they're not doing count-ins. There's just not enough people.
yeah, and that in wargaming have tried to clamp down on that. I mean, I know a clan in America.
I fully agree with that.
I know a clan in
For them
North
to clamp down
America
on that.
who did at one point do a ratings countdown, and wargaming banned them, all of them.
Yes, and I
And,
am aware of that.
You know, and it's because you can't manipulate ratings like this. And if you've experienced that
You shouldn't
recently,
be
then that's a shocker, because that's out of
Well,
order.
then let's-
And that's not the way ratings is designed. It never has been, it never should be. and that's what puts people.
All it takes.
But the thing is, when
takes
you've
is
got
2 people.
well, when you've got people doing that, I can understand why people are aggrieved in ratings. But that's not because of the ratings. That's because of the players. And you know, don't get me wrong. As I said, I'm not saying ratings is perfect. It's not by any stretch of the imagination. But it you know, there has to be improvements to it. There really does.
Yes.
But
and that's why I say that I would rather play ranked game competitively on other servers, because I know there I can get a more fair crop.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, and as I said, I mean, we've seen a drop off on the NA server of players for whatever reason. Don't know what it is, and of course that's going to have an impact. We've seen an increase on the EU server, and that again has an impact. And Wargaming have got to tinker with the ratings battle format somewhere along the line to make it more. I can't really say enjoyable, because, well, it is enjoyable.
It's not
because
meant
it's
to
a
be.
challenge.
I mean,
it's a challenge. That's the point. And you know, I can get the frustrations.
I think that the increase of EU partially has to do with the falling of NA. Because if you look at like all of the main streamers and all the people who play the game, you know, and who put it up on YouTube and whatever, 90% of them, I would say, or at least half, not 90%, at least half of them are all EU plays, or EU based.
And that's just the English speaking ones. I mean, we've got, you know, don't forget we've got Rib, who's German speaking. We've got Ninja.
Yeah, exactly. You have all of these
who's
people
Polish.
who are EU based, and then NA you had Bushka at one point. You had all of these NA streamers.
Yeah, but he played on the NA server. He played on the NA server a lot.
He based himself and played on NA. You have Droodles, you have like all of these people, but then recently you have 2 of the biggest being Rolling Swarm and Bushka, who have both left the NA scene to go do other things. And that doesn't really look good on the NA player base, which is why I think a lot of them are moving to EU.
Yeah, I mean, I keep meaning to get back onto the NA, but timings just suck for me at the moment. I'm trying to find a workaround solution to that, because I'd like to get back on NA.
And I understand that completely. Being someone who has to work myself and has to try and fit in with your streams and stuff.
Yeah, it's you know, the NA timings really kill me, because it's not just NA. I mean, because you're certainly Asia's different. But you guys you've got like how many different time zones? I mean, you know, what one time is for the New Yorkers is not the same time as the Californians, and it's massive. It's a huge difference.
You have at least 3 main ones. You have Eastern Time, Central Time, and Pacific.
Yeah, but they vary greatly. I mean, what's the difference between New York and LA? It's like 6 hours, isn't it? 5 hours.
4 hours.
It's massive.
3 hours. In the continental US, it's 3 hours, and Hawaii is the only difference.
So, but you know, and I'm 3 hours ahead of UK, and UK's 5 hours ahead of the US, New York.
Yeah, you got an 8-hour difference.
And then I've got an 8-hour difference.
In my case, you have a 9-hour difference.
Yeah, exactly, and it's trying to find a suitable time slot that works.
Like I said, that's completely understandable, which is why the fact that. No, I used to live in Hawaii, but now I live in Missouri.
You know, that's where I struggle. Because you guys realistically are most active at like 3 o'clock in the morning for me.
Yes, like 8 p.m. to like 3 in the morning is going to be usually when he's up and about.
Well, it's 9:45 here in Central Time.
9:45 in the morning.
It's about to become 5 a.m. here, so.
Yeah, 9:45 a.m.
And it's 6:45 p.m. for me here, so.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, the reason that I think NA is having a decline is mainly because of all of these main NA streamers and stuff just doing other things. And like, I have all the respect for Bushka and Rolling. Like, I have all the respect for them.
Play on NA, but live in America.
Well, Rolling, I'm pretty sure.
Let's not forget the fact that there's been a huge influx of a certain player base that's disagreeable by most. So let's just bring that
okay.
to light
I'm
as well.
90% sure Rolling lives in the U.S. I might be wrong about
No,
that.
he's in Malta. He lives in Malta.
Rolling swarms in England.
No. Rolling lives in Malta.
Oh, okay, fair. But like, you have these people who are famous for playing on the NA server, and you have these people who are known for doing that.
Yeah.
And then they just up and leave.
Yeah.
I mean, Rolling just, like I said, up and left. But like I said, I have all the respect for the guy. And Bushka, I have no idea what he did or why he left, but he did, and now he just does PUBG.
Bushka, yeah, because PUBG.
He sold out. They paid him to do PUBG content, so he just focused on that.
Yeah, and but to be fair, I mean, okay, Meadsy normally streams NA. Meadsy normally streams NA. He can't stream anything at the moment. That's why he's doing his live stream replays. And you know, he's by far at the moment, for English speaking, the biggest YouTuber, and he does stream NA regularly when he's able to stream.
And like I said, that just leaves him and Droodles.
Yeah.
And at that
I
point,
wonder where Droodles lives.
Droodles is upstate New York, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's New York.
Either upstate New York or New Jersey. I can't remember. He did tell me once, but I've forgotten. I think it's either upstate New York or New Jersey. And if he's hearing this, no doubt he's going to kill me for saying he's from upstate New York if he's from New Jersey.
Now, that also means, but then let's look at EU. English-speaking EU has a pretty good number of people.
Yes, it does.
I mean, you have a very large, thriving community, and then we want to be able.
Skate has indeed come back, Max.
I mean, we as NA players want to have that connection like you do with your EU followers. And if you look at like me, for example, I've taken the time to try and hit the streams when it's like.
Oh, absolutely! Yeah, no, absolutely.
And like, there are other people like me who want to have that connection with the people who actually know what they're doing.
And this is what annoys me, because I have a lot of American subscribers, and you know, I'm trying to find this time slot. When I was streaming NA, I was doing it 4:30 a.m. my time.
Yeah, and I could understand how hard that is for you.
And I'm disappointed that I can't engage with them the same way that I can engage with my European subs.
Okay, hold up. Whose mic is that? Okay, thank you.
And you know,
sorry, I'm not.
you know, and
no, you're good.
I can engage with the Asian subscribers as well at the moment, because obviously they're only 3 hours ahead of me.
The fact that. And that's why I respect the fact that you're willing to go to that extra mile, and the fact that a lot of these other streamers usually don't.
It's but the other thing, the other thing though, it's wargaming don't. To be fair to wargaming, they don't just give out press accounts willy nilly, and
and that's completely understandable.
And it's actually I run. I mean. Okay, I've got a press account now for Asia because they kindly lent me one to try and engage with Asia more. But I generally play on my own account. And you know what? Trying to run 3 accounts, which I'm still trying to do, and trying to run the EU, NA, and Asia, is really expensive. Really expensive.
Yeah, running 2 accounts. Like, I have all of my premiums and all of my fun tanks that I like to play, like Tiger 2 on my NA account.
Absolutely.
And now I have to grind up from scratch this EU account so that I can hit you when you're on your streams, and then I get on your stream and you're only playing tier 10.
Yeah, well, that's it. And then, with the greatest respect to the other YouTubers in EU, a lot of them are quite young lads. And I'm an old fart. I'm an old fart with a good job. So, generally I can afford. I can afford a bit.
Do whatever you gotta do, my guy.
Yeah. Whereas, take some really good YouTubers. Every good name is taken. He's a student. He's a fantastic player. He's got a great YouTube channel. He would love to stream other servers. He finds it difficult to actually fund his own server. His main server EU, because he's a student. He hasn't got the money.
Oh yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, there are people who have the ability that don't, and then there are those who want the ability and try.
Yeah.
And that kind of bugs the NA server as of right now. That the people who don't have the ability are the ones that want to do it, and they're the ones that the NA wants to support.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that have the ability just don't do it because they think, why bother?
Okay.
I don't want to have to spend all this
No, I
extra
understand
money
what you- yeah.
just to fund another
Maybe
server.
we should just have more people who live in America and play the game.
Well,
I mean, hell, if I could stream it, I would. Like, I have the computer, I have all this other stuff, but I'm not gonna sit there and stream just for the sake of being like, oh, I want to stick up for America because America needs to be stuck up for, because that's not the right attitude to be streaming.
But I'm trying to get. I mean, Fishy is a streamer. Well, he streams the tours,
Yes.
and you know, I mean, okay, Fishy hasn't got a massive fan base at the moment, but he's a good player. He's a really good player, and he's a good YouTuber. And you know, he is American. He is in America. He's in NA, and he's one of those. He's one of those that people could get behind a lot.
Yeah, and with all due respect to him, the streaming schedule that he has isn't necessarily like, I don't want to say on par, but it's kind of wishy-washy depending on the day, if that makes sense.
Well,
Like,
probably real
there
life
are days
intervenes
where,
with him.
like-
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, with all due respect, I mean, there are times where people are streaming, like Droodles. There was one point where he just didn't say anything and didn't stream for like 2 weeks, and like there was just nothing. Medzi did the same thing, but then he eventually came back and said, okay, this is what the dealio was. But it's just stuff like that where the NA is finding less and less reason to actually play because there's less and less connection that they could have with the people on the other side of the glass.
I get you. Well, if I can find a suitable slot, then I'm more than happy to stream back in NA. I mean, I've got the ping issue sorted, so that's number one. But it's finding that suitable slot now.
Oh yeah, I mean that's understandable.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've always
actually.
Say again, Kareem.
Wargaming is actually trying to rebuild at least the NA server, in my opinion, because the missiles, giving them to American tanks instead of just adding them to the like that was obviously it's not a. Sorry. I'm outside. But what I'm trying to say is that that's a feature that you add to the game to bring in new players, not to keep old ones. Because I'm pretty sure that they knew that they'd get backlash.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to add like the IS6 fearless and ratings, trying to build up ratings, trying to build up the competitive scene by giving us season coins and tournament streams.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've gotten more players because of the Sheridans and stuff like that, and now they're actually trying to keep them. So Wargaming, it does seem to me like they're aware of that. And they had the RBM stream
The other thing that I've seen recently is in the competitive scene, how many NA players are there? Like, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, there's a few.
There's a few, but then you look at the EU, the RU, which obviously are larger player bases, which are basically
that's the difference. I mean, when you're looking at RU, I mean, they're weekly players. The average RU player base is 50,000. The average EU player base is 35,000, and the average NA is 12. Is 12 with Asia coming on with 10. So you know there's a massive disparity. So when you talk about, I mean, I'm just looking at this week alone. The average the average RU for this week was 40,563, EU 29,796, Asia were at 2,500, and North America at 4,000. So there's a disconnect in Asia and North America realistically.
Yeah, but I mean, Asia is partly they've always been kind of a small, tight-knit community.
Yeah.
Like it's always been that way.
But NA always surprises me. It surprises me, to be fair. Because you're a big gaming community, and you know you have 350 million people. So yeah, it does surprise me.
But the thing is, there are also games that are coming out in NA that are better in touch with their player base in terms of specifically NA side. I'm not talking about as a generality.
Warframe.
Like for example, COD Mobile.
Yeah.
They're pushing out stuff every other week, and like they're constantly putting in new stuff. They're a growing competitive scene, and a lot of the NA players have flocked to games like that because they know that there's new stuff coming in. It's usually 9 times out of 10 not broken pieces of garbage that, you know, that enforce a certain type of gameplay. It's just that World of Tanks Blitz at this point has kind of lost its shine in the eyes of a lot of people in the NA server. Which
I feel like part of that is also wargaming.
An American company made a tank game with Blitz.
Bro, let's not bring politics into this. Like, let's just keep politics out.
I'm not saying it's politics. It's competition.
You say Trump, it's automatically politics. Like, let's be honest here.
It's not.
Well,
not
all I can
Trump.
say is I've played for a while, and with the current, situation, the current state of the game, unless they make a drastic change, I have no interest in ratings whatsoever anymore, and I just basically won't play it. And so what that means is that my playing in the game, it's instantly going to decrease, whether it's 25 or 50 or whatever percentage. I'm no longer going to have that ratings portion of my gameplay. So they're losing out in that regard as well.
I mean, I used to pride myself as an NA player for having the 57% win rate that I had. Ever since I started really trying to grind for win rating, my win rating has gone down because of the fact that I would rather have fun than play like a slut.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, personally, I get your point about the streaming side, because the more that people can be engaged and have these funny streams where, the community is involved, then the more interest people get. Yeah, I see that. Okay, I don't have a lot of people watching my streams, to be honest with you, compared to people like Juicy Tender Straight.
But I mean, the ones that do are very loyal to you in the sense that they watch you because they know you can bring out content.
But it's not just that. I mean, I have, on the live streaming side, when we do the count-ins and the stuff like that, I mean, we generally have about, 15 odd players in Discord. They may not be watching. And like I said, I'm not a massive YouTube channel, so I don't expect to have massive views and massive people coming into my Discord. But I do like the fact that we can engage, and maybe that's one of the things that they need to do in America. They engage more. I know a lot of streamers don't like doing that. They yes, Mohammed Ershad, I am in Dubai.
I mean, but there was a streamer recently. I think it was Pantufli recently that said that. Think about it this way: say you have 150,000 subs, and you're streaming, and about 3/4 of those all come into your stream.
Yeah.
You don't have the ability, the emotional support, whatever, to be able to go to each of those people and say, "Hello, how are you doing?"
No, you don't. But you
always talk in generalities.
No, but you have the ability to say, "Hello, everybody."
Yeah, you have to always go in that generality.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, you have a more tight-knit community in the sense that when you show up for a stream, more people are going to be watching than actually playing with you. So you can address the whole, but you also have the ability to address the few, and the rest of the people in the stream
don't absolutely
really care about
absolutely that. No, I totally agree with that.
Now, like let's say, for example, if Medzi tried to do that, or Medzi tried to do that, say he tried to have a count-ins thing, there would be literally hundreds of people trying to shove their way into count-in.
No, Bushka used to do it. Bushka used to do count-ins.
Yes, but he would also limit it to only people who were like members and stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he didn't just do full set count-ins because at that point he had so many subs where there would be hundreds of people trying to ask him. So yeah, but I could understand him limiting it to members because then he knows that I can say yes or no and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that. I hate to intervene on that topic though, but I mean,
now paying money for count-ins is probably not the best idea.
I'd never do that. No.
Yeah, but for his size, it makes more sense logistically.
No, I get that, but my philosophy is slightly different, and streaming is not for me; it's for the subs. I don't stream because I want you to. I don't stream because I want you guys to watch me noob out consistently. I stream because I want the subs to get involved. It's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, and there was a streamer on Twitch that I watched recently he's a very small streamer. He has maybe 150 people who are actually giving him money.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say to those 150, I'm going to put you on a pedestal before everyone else.
Yeah.
He tells them straight up, I don't care if you hand me money. I'm going to treat you just as well as I treat everyone else. And that's what I feel that you do above, say, Midzi or Droodles or Bushka, is that you look at your player base that you have and you say, okay, I'm going to give them the respect and dignity and whatever that everybody deserves. And I'm not going to I might mention that these people are giving me money, but I'm not going to say, oh, here, I'm going to do whatever I want with you because you give me that money.
Well, the deal for real will tell you my approach, because he asked about Patreon. And I said, I can't remember what I said. He was going to be a Patreon for me to review a tank. And I said, only if you're going to buy the tank. Don't do it just to become a Patreon. Because that's not my mentality.
Now, if I knew that you were going to do that, I would totally be down for that. If someone is willing to flip the bill for a tank and do the review, assuming it's a premium.
Yeah, but I told the deal for real that only do it if he is interested in those tanks. Don't do it just to get a review. If he genuinely is interested in those tanks, then yeah, it's something that he may want to consider.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you later today if you could do one on the German Bulldog, but I didn't know if you had it on any of the other servers.
No, I have the German Bulldog, and this is why I never ask for people to pay me for reviews and stuff, because look, I've got a press account on Asia, which has got the Bulldog. I've got almost every tank in the game on my EU account, and I had a conversation with Wargaming, and I said to them, I don't need a press account on the EU server, guys. I've got every tank in the game. There are other people, like, for example, Every Good Name Is Taken, who can't afford every tank in the game. He is much more deserving of a press account on EU than me. Much more.
Yeah, because he also can have that know-how of how tanks work and just do it that way.
Absolutely. And why would I take a press account and deny somebody else a press account? I don't need it. But I do need it on Asia, and I would like one on NA, to be fair, to engage.
And you having that mindset is why I respect you as a streamer over, say, Droodles. Not saying that they're bad people.
No, they're not bad people. None of them are bad people.
They're just, you have that mindset of, I'm going to give something that the people don't have. And I'm not going to take it from the people that do already have it.
Well, I did a review the other day on the T-34-3, and somebody said in the comments, can you do a Badger review? And I think the review went out today. Why can't I?
Yeah,
I mean, I've got the bloody tank.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it, so you may as well.
You know, it's.
And I mean, a couple months ago, I had the idea of doing IS-5, IS-6, Object 252U, and like all of the Russian heavies and doing a tier list.
Mm-hmm. But I've always said if people want tank reviews, just wing them across to me. I may not get onto them immediately, but I'll always do them. I've never been opposed to that. And as for streaming, I will always. The streams are not for me. They're not to increase my viewing figures. They're not for me to get more subscribers.
You'll take any money that comes across.
If people want to tip, then I'm more than happy and more than grateful. But I'm not going to ask them to tip. It's up to them.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of why, like, in NA side, Droodles usually won't have anything to do with the subs unless they're like there's a certain thing going on, or he'll sometimes platoon with people, but that's like every far and few between.
We all have different approaches. I mean, Droodles is a much better player than me, to be fair. So he can carry people and increase their win rates. Secondly, I'm an old fart. I really am an old fart. And my approach to YouTube is, guys, I'm only here because of you. I'm not. My channel at 3,000 odd subs is not because of me. It's because of you subbing to me.
And I mean, like when I talk to a lot of my friends that live in my neighborhood that play this game, they don't look to the actual NA-based streamers. They look more towards like you and Every, because of the fact that they can tell that it's not just the, oh, I'm here, so here's who I'm streaming to. It's the, I'm in a different place, but I'm going to reach out to the ones that, whoever's willing to come, or those who are willing to come.
Well, God, yeah. I mean, if you notice, when I live stream on EU, I don't ask what people's win rates are, and I don't care. And I will platoon with a 30% win rate player. It doesn't bother me. They're my sub.
I've seen Panthers do that once.
Yeah, but they're my subs, mate. They're my subs.
Yeah,
and without them, my channel wouldn't exist. Okay?
Yeah, but okay, going back to whoever mentioned Pantuf, the thing is, after he did that, he caught all kinds of flack for doing it. Yeah, like he literally platooned with subs for like 3.5 hours. With like maybe 40 or 50 different subs, and then he caught like flack for the next 2.5 weeks after that.
Why?
Of just, oh, why didn't you play with me? We were all waiting in the line, blah 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 blah. That were all pissed at him because they didn't take the time.
Yeah, but that's not his fault. And I say to my guys, and I've got a smaller base, but I say to my guys, it really is a first come first served basis, and I try and put the list together.
Not to mention all the shit, excuse my French, that he got after he was giving his tanks to his mods.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, Pantu is the way he runs his channel is up to him. And he's a very clever guy, okay? He's a very clever guy. Love him or loathe him, what he does to grow his channel. And we can all sit here and say he's a this, he's a that, and you can knock him. I don't knock him because he's built up a channel very quickly to a big fan base, and that is admirable. Okay, he does drama,
and that's why
he understands that it's YouTube. And drama, just like TV, sex sells. On YouTube, drama sells. And
I mean,
a lot of people knock him.
He doesn't really do.
Yeah.
And that's why he doesn't do count-ins with subs anymore, because he knows that's a pit of worm. That's a freaking can of worms that he'll never want to open again.
Yeah. And you know,
I mean, he posted on his Discord a couple of days ago that people are still DMing him and shit talking him about the freaking giveaways. He posted on his Discord, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that he had one of his mods literally crying, which I am not sure how valid that actually is.
Well, I mean, just my take on that. And I'm just going to tell you what I think of all this, to be honest with you. I'm not going to do a video on it, but there's a lot of people have asked me.
You really shouldn't.
And I'm not going to. I'm not going to do a video on it because it's a storm. It's a storm in a teacup. Now, look.
Yes.
His initial video, he did make promises to an extent. It could be construed that promises were made to an extent. And
and I think they were to an extent as well.
Yeah. And, you know, he then decided, rightly or wrongly, that he was going to reward his subscribers. And he didn't tell his base before the event. And that's his only mistake. He earned those tanks, okay? He went out, he did ratings, and he earned those tanks. And Wargaming did say to all of us, it's up to us what we do with those tanks. There are no conditions attached. We don't have to do this, we don't have to do that, we can do whatever we wish. And, in fairness, he decided, well, look, my mods do deserve recognition, so I'm going to give them a free tank, because I've got a free tank to give them. And that alienated his player base. The only biggest mistake I think he made was his video. No, was his apology type video after that, and I just think he misunderstood. I think he just misread the situation, nothing else, and I think that's what alienated people more. But you've got to remember this: he did ratings to get tanks. And he, like everybody, he changed his mind. He changed his mind for the right reasons. Now, I understand his initial subscribers getting pissed off and saying, but you know, it was like promised that these would go to subscribers. I get that. What I don't agree with, and I fully accept people can be pissed off, annoyed, and disappointed in him. I get that.
I mean, if I was in that boat, I would be very much frustrated.
But where it gets to the point where you're sending spam hate mail and calling him every nasty name under the sun, I mean that's not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah, not just to him, but his mods as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's just things like that where one little slip up from the streaming side could end up as a whole world of problems for everyone else.
Absolutely. But you know, like I said, love him or loathe him. He knows what he's doing. He's a very good YouTuber. He's a very good player, and he knows how to market himself. And nobody can ever take that away from him or knock him for that. Seriously, he really can't. And I think he got a rough deal, but. And Pantu, don't take this the wrong way, mate. I think he got a rough deal with this recent thing, but I think he deserved a rough deal to bring him back down to say, okay, I needed to do things differently. I'll learn from this error and I'll do it differently.
And I'm pretty sure he did that.
Yeah, maybe he did. And that's what needs to happen. Every now and then, people just need to say, oi, you've overstepped the mark a little bit. Get back in line. That's all.
And I honestly feel that like that's what's going on right now with a lot of streamers is that they're just like they have to take the time to say that, oh well, I did this and I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean,
this is how we're going to step forward from it.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of things. I mean, what you see on YouTube, let's be frank, it's a persona. People aren't like that in real life sometimes. And you know,
said those words exactly. He said, you know, as soon as I step away from the camera and the screen, I no longer exist.
Right.
I am not Pantufley anymore. I am whoever I am in real life.
I guarantee you this. To be fair, I don't know him. I've spoken to him once or twice, but I can say I cannot believe for one instance that he is a dick in real life. I just don't believe it. He does it because that's what he knows is going to sell. It's a persona, and he's built that persona very well, and he deserves, you know, he deserves the recognition for what he's done to achieve what he's achieved. And
now I would in that sense also say that he deserves some flashback from how he is as a person on stream.
Oh God, but he does again he rages on stream
to an extent. Like,
but that was all his thing.
Egregious hate mail is
no, but
I don't condone that in the slightest.
But again, Pantu's approach is playing to the mob. He knows, he understands the mob, let's say, and he's a very clever guy for that.
Which is also why I think people like him, because there's
Absolutely.
not many streamers that actually attempt to do that.
Absolutely, you know, and credit where credit's due. Yes, I think he's made quite a few fuck ups. To be perfectly honest with you.
Oh yeah, I don't think anyone looking at his channel could say otherwise.
No,
to be perfectly honest.
But
and
it's
with
not.
all due respect to him.
But it's not done any everlasting damage to him. Let's be that.
Yeah, and the only way that I could see him doing everlasting damage in that sense is being blatant. I don't care about my subscribers. I care about my mods.
Basically, what he did.
But that's basically what he did, which is why he got the flack. That's where it all went wrong. That's where it all went wrong.
There's a difference between doing it under the table and then being straight up to the subs and saying, you know what, I don't give a flying rat's ass about anything that happens here.
Well, this is but that's what he did, and this is where the problem lies, because if you build up a persona, then you can't change your persona that quickly. And his persona is, and he always says it, I don't care, blah blah blah, because that's his persona. Yeah. That's what he's built. So when the shit hit the fan on this, he can't suddenly turn around and say, "Of course I care. I want to love you all. You're all brilliant people." Blah blah blah. He's got to have the same persona, which is I don't care. And you know, he was in a catch-22. Simple fact. What he did was wrong. He knows he was wrong, and his approach to try and get out of the wrong was even worse. That was all. But anyway, that's it. I'm not saying any more on Pantufley. I mean, he's got a good channel. He knows what he's doing. He's a clever guy. I don't believe in real life he is what you see on YouTube. I guarantee you. I bet he's an absolutely amazing guy in real life. Funny as how, and life of the party. Don't take what you see on YouTube as, you know, exactly
People
that.
Talk about him, and from what I've heard, he's actually quite a chill guy.
Yeah, I mean, people should give him a little bit of a break every now and then. Okay, he fucks up, and pull him out on it. When he screws up for the drama and he's doing it to get a rise, by all means, comment and pull him out on it. Don't be nasty though. There's no reason to be nasty.
That should be just like a mantra for everyone. You can do what you want, but don't be nasty about it.
Absolutely, because you know, if you think that any YouTuber, not just Pantherfleet, because he's not the only one who fucks up. Any YouTuber, if you think any of them have stepped out of line, send them a comment saying, I don't agree with you on this, mate, or I don't agree with you on that, or this or that. There's no need to say, you're an arsehole, you're a French baguette-eating idiot. There's no need for any of that. It doesn't belong.
I mean, this also could boil down back when people were saying that you got your rise on YouTube because of Bushka's situation.
Absolutely, and I went straight to a video on that and said, guys, this is this is what people have been saying, and this is not the reason I did it, and I'll always do that.
So yeah, beyond the drama in the YouTube scene,
yeah, I mean, I had subscribers leave when over the APA Ernest incident. Where I said, look, guys, he's not cheating. What the fuck are you talking about?
Whatever did happen about that, like.
Oh, he's just playing. He's just toying with people. That's all. That's all he's doing.
Hilarious to see that.
I mean, Pantherfleet did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, he literally posted a video of a smasher doing a freaking hatch shot.
Absolutely. Look.
Like, see, he knows what he's doing. And
nobody is infallible. We're all gonna fuck up, and we all got our own opinions. So people turn around and say, "Oh, but media keeps saying this tank is OP." Pantu says this tank is this, and then changes his mind. Guys, I've done that. I did a review when I first started on a VK72. One moment, I did it on a VK72, and it was one of my first-ish videos, and I was in awe of doing these videos, and I had something like 200 subscribers at the time. And I thought, well, there's no way I can go against what the likes of Bushka's saying. So I sold out a little bit. And now my opinion changed.
Medzi for a second. So a couple, I think it was his last stream, Medzi was saying how the FCM50G was the overpowered tank until he started playing the T54 Mod 1.
Mm.
But then he goes back to say the next morning, oh, I still believe that the FCM50G is overpowered. And we're like, what?
Well, this is why I don't think any tank is overpowered as such, apart from the Keniotsu.
WZ120 GFT would like to say hello.
It's not overpowered. It's just broken.
I killed C120 GFT. Unless you're stupid in front of it, it's OP.
It's strong, but it's not overpowered.
I tell you, I can put the most OP tank in the game in the worst player's hands, and it won't be OP, and you'll say this is a shit tank. There are tanks that have got benefits. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
When that garbage player bounces for no reason, even though they're playing it obviously wrong, then I would still say that it's a fairly good view.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got to play the bloody thing, and that's the thing. But all I will say on that, I will never say a tank is OP. But what I did with the VK72, I fell into the trap of following Bushka and said, it's a shit tank, you don't need it, the E100's better. And then it wasn't until, I decided, I was playing one day and somebody, I think it was Stygian, actually. I think Stygian said to me, you said it was shit. And now you're saying it's great.
And it's not.
And I said, you know what? You're right. I was wrong. And I was wrong because I fell into the trap of not going against others. And I then said to myself, and I said to everybody, I will never do that ever again. I will only ever give you what I think. And you may agree with me and you may disagree with me. That's irrelevant. I will only ever tell you what I think.
Yeah, and that's why I think a lot more people respect you than, because if you look at Medzi and Droodles and when Bushka was doing World of Blitz stuff, they all said about the same thing. And you could even watching their videos when they did stuff for the T-34-3 when it was first released, they all said the thing was going to be shit.
Yeah.
They all said that the Type 59 and the T-54 Mod 1 were gonna mop the floor with it.
You're OP, Ty Higgins. Sorry, yeah, carry on. Yeah, no, it's...
And I mean, then the T-59 Heavy, I'm pretty sure, not T-59 Heavy, Medzi later did a video comparing all three of those vehicles. And he ended up at the end saying neither one of them is better than the other.
Yeah, I agree with Everton. I agree with Everton here on chat. where he says no tank is OP, it's the player. And I agree with that. I do. I really do. The tanks can give you a benefit, but no tank is truly OP, apart from the Keniotsu, because that really is a broken tank. That really is broken.
Well, yeah,
There are
because
tanks,
genuinely
there are
fucked up
tanks
the
that are
numbers.
just...
But even Zenyatta, it has no armor.
Absolutely, it's a shit tank.
Well,
It's just got a broken reload, that's all.
Yeah, it's got a broken
Now,
gun.
but then I will say there are tanks that are just absolute shit.
VK168.
Yeah, the VK168. It's just absolute,
It's
just absolute garbage.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's have the weak HEable backside of a mouse on the front side that's going to be facing everything.
Absolutely.
Because that's a smart idea. Let's just have
this is the
every
thing.
freaking waffle tractor just HE the back.
The VK168 armor in the cars looks really good. Playing in game, the hats on top is a weak point. The machine gun manlet is a weak point. The sides, you can go through the tracks through the front, and it's like, what the heck? Like, this thing sucks.
It has like so many.
You know, I had a challenge sent to me by one of my friends. Play the 168, but only drive it backwards.
Kareem gives me Kareem gives me these silly challenges all the time. He gave me one last night. Play the E100, get 3k damage only using HE.
Bro, you could totally do that though.
Well, that's
Like,
easy, actually.
The E1, no. You want to know what a challenge is? Play a stock ST1. HE only.
I heard Matthew about that.
Oh, what was the other one Kareem got me doing? I had to go out in the Centurion, not the Centurion.
Ew,
Yeah, the Centurion.
Okay, if you say Centurion HE only, I'm actually going to throw up.
No. He said every time you pen, you have to do a 360.
That was FV.
It was the FV4. No, FV4202. That was. Every time you made a shot with the FV4202, you had to do a 360. You couldn't move. Where you were, you had to 360.
Yeah, but see, I think doing the 168, the VK168 backwards is just something that's just like, it's just something funny to watch.
Unbelievable.
At that point, you just have a VK100 at that point.
Don't give, please guys, don't give Kareem more ideas for challenges.
I have two.
See, he's already got 2 more challenges. Come on.
Wait. Future, make a video where you play as Sheridan.
Drive the angry.
Hang on.
What it's called.
Hang on. Alan. Kareem, yeah.
If you play as Sheridan, you have to W the entire time.
Oh, I missed that. You broke up. So we go out playing as Sheridan, though.
Microphone again.
Sheridan, hold W the entire game, so you have to drive forwards, and you have to shoot missiles only.
Missiles only? Oh, come on.
Missiles while moving? Oh my god, I would totally do that.
3.5k
if I had a
damage.
Sheridan
3.5k damage as well. You've got to do.
Yeah, or
I
play
could
the
probably
IS-5
do that in the tier 9 to be
Ty, what are you talking about? I do that anyway. I do play the TOG as a med.
No. Backline the TOG.
I've never done that. I've never done
Backline
that.
the TOG and watch the amount of...
Drive to the base. That's all you can
do. No. See, okay, so I have a challenge that I've done, and I've laughed at myself every time that I've done it. So on Castilla,
yeah,
there's, if you spawn on the side that is by the rock encampment, where the windmill thing is, right before the hill, there's a little side outcropping with a rock in front of it.
Okay.
I've taken my Tiger 2 and I've sat there and I've done nothing and I've bounced 10k worth of damage.
Oh my god.
I've just sat there, not moved my turret, didn't angle at all. I just sat butt up to the rock.
Right, I've got an idea then. So the next live stream I do on any server, they're just gonna be, we're gonna still be doing countings. It's still gonna be countings and tombs, but they're gonna be challenges as well, not just go out and shoot. Let's do that. So think about your challenges.
That would be lit.
Think about the challenges.
That'll be fun.
So we need to think. So think about your challenges, and then we'll do that. So Kareem's got challenges, you've got challenges. Everybody think about challenges. And everybody's got to do it. So if we count in and we all get into a game, then we've all got to try and do the challenge at the same time. So if it's something stupid like an E100,
stock turret, Tiger 2.
yeah, we've all got to do it. That'd be funny.
No,
you can't change the guns or the turret. So it'd be something stupid like, you can only drive the Tiger 2 with the gun facing backwards or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, question. What's your opinion for so on the Tiger 2? You either have 205 mils, you have the high pen one, or you have the one with the higher DPM.
I'm strange. I like tanks with strange things. To be fair.
I mean, because when I play the Tiger 2, I rather play the L52, because higher DPM, 215 millimeter of pen at tier 8 is still pretty decent.
Oh, error code. Can't play that.
I'm glad.
I just like how it looks.
Okay, now I'm thinking about the VK 45.02A. I wonder if that thing should get another.
I think it's.
I would say no.
No, not a major buff though. I mean,
I personally, I think it looks good and functions well the way that it is.
Yeah, I used to.
Tablet, this is you in your conch. I think I played this. I can't remember. I'm running out.
Millimeters of safety pin, which is great because.
I like the Churchill game carrier. It's a great tank.
By the way, Fugit, not a team has been going on for 2.5 hours now, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call it, knock it on the head now. But it was a great debate, great chat. We got a lot of things covered, and not all about nothing about Blitz.
I mean, hey, we had fun, and that's all that matters.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I still rage on the game, but I still love it. To be fair, I love the game, and I love the game because I like going out and shooting shit in a tank, and it's good fun for that.
I guess I still like it a bit, but I want to make a game to compete with Blitz.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're talking to the wrong man here. I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
I know nothing about nothing.
I'm coding. I'm actually coding stuff right now, so maybe we could arrange something.
I did play this one, Amblet. You've seen this. People have seen this twice. Ty, the giveaway for the tanks is next week. We had the giveaway earlier for the premium account, and 2 lucky winners. One from North America, Rebel Pilot. And one from EU, which was Faroli TR. So.
Oh, Fugit.
Yeah.
You said something about doing the tier 7 tournaments.
Yes, I'm still penning that out. I mean, there's a tournament coming up next week, which is a 3v3, which is being hosted by the clan Veal, whatever you want to pronounce them, being done by Elysium, a good player on the EU server, I'm afraid. So, but I'll be streaming that. I'm in a team with Jory, and he's gone. Not Banana Joe. He was here a minute ago. So we're going to be in a team, and some of the top EU players are in teams as well, like Juicy, Whoopsie, all that sort of stuff. The Legion guys, etc., etc. And then once that's settled down, then we're going. Then I'm thrashing out still. So I was planning on doing the tournaments. They're going to probably start end of June, beginning of July, around that time. So.
Yeah,
it's not being forgotten.
I was thinking, if you were asking for rules, I was wondering if you could implement a pick 3 ban list, pre-game. Each team would put 1 or 2 tanks forward that no one would be allowed to play for the set, and then you would just play the match.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of trying to go one better than that and fixing the tanks, but I don't know. I'm still toying with the idea. But the tournaments will definitely happen, and they will be happening around. June, July time, around that time.
Because I already know what tank I'm bringing out for.
Yeah, because it's gonna be the down season, and that'd probably be better. Anyway, as somebody said, almost 3 hours. What a chat! God, that was good. Thanks, guys, for jumping in. Thank you on YouTube. Wowzers, fantastic stuff. I think we got to 35 viewers at one stage, which is amazing. More people watch this than they do watch me noob out on a live stream. Awesome.
Yeah,
Great.
because we're
Maybe
talking
if you
about
weren't
stuff.
to plan your live streams at fucking midnight, that would actually count the same.
But it's midnight my time. And I do
my
it.
time. That's 6:30
Yeah,
for me.
I try to do it so because people play tournaments and stuff like that. That's the problem.
Yeah, I used to play the off-season tournaments, but then I just couldn't get a team together to do it, so I figured I'd just,
That's the thing, is trying to get the timings right because people do tournaments and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, right, I'm going to go. Thank you, YouTube, for joining in. Guys on Discord, thank you very much for the discussion. Thank you for actively taking part. Like I said, we discussed a lot. By all means, I'm not streaming today. I'm streaming tomorrow. EU. The reason I'm streaming both EU and Asia probably tomorrow. The only reason I'm not streaming today is because I'm tired. Simple.
honestly, same. After getting out of the hospital for like
I'm absolutely shattered today.
I'm freaking shot.
Yeah, I'm absolutely shattered today. So I would normally stream EU tonight, but not today. It'll be tomorrow, guys. And until then, as per usual, really thanks everybody for joining in. Stay safe out there, have fun, and happy tanking, because guys, that really is what it's all about. Having fun and being happy. And don't send hate mail to anybody. Simple as that.
Do not.
Simple as that. All right. Right, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to go and have a coffee and stuff. So I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.